The season is winding down. 4 games remain starting tonight. Every game so important, and the Crawdads are all in to make a push to the playoffs. Good evening, everybody from Healdsburg, California. I'm Alon Desai, joined by my partner, Austin Oda. The Crawdads a game back of second-place Lincoln and currently tied with Solano as well. The Dads are ready for a massive tilt with the CCL North leading Healdsburg Prune Packers. Walnut Creek just snapped a 5-game losing streak yesterday with an extra innings win against Sonoma. And the Dads are going to do everything they possibly can to secure a second consecutive victory here tonight at Recreation Park in Healdsburg. The Crawdads are 14-15 in league play, and the Prune Packers, who are out in front by a long distance, are 22-8. The Prune Packers have just been so dominant. The Crawdads had the Prune Packers on the ropes last weekend, but Healdsburg was able to beat the 10 count and win the game in extra innings. Really a heartbreaker for the Crawdads. So if the Dads jump out to a lead today, it is vital they add to it and play mistake-free baseball. Crawdads and Prune Packers coming your way next. A huge game with very few games remaining the rest of the season for Walnut Creek. We'll be right back with starting lineups and starting pitchers here on the Crawdads streaming network. Welcome back here to Healdsburg, California. Alon Desai with Austin Oda and the DVB Insurance broadcast booth on the road here from Recreation Park. The Crawdads just getting ready here to start this ball game against Healdsburg. The starting lineups being announced right now. We'll do the same here on the air. The Crawdads, a little bit of a different looking lineup, at least with some shuffled positions here. Ryan Ellis leading off first. He is the third baseman tonight, and he's been very good. Also has 20 stolen bases this season. He has been a serious threat on the base paths for the Crawdads, so he's leading off. Tyson Corio, the second baseman, batting second. Ryan Brome in left field batting third. Coleman Schmidt batting cleanup. He's in center per usual. Kavares Tears batting fifth, the designated hitter. That's Tears. Brian Duroff, the first baseman, batting sixth. Joey Donnelly in right field batting seventh. Last time we were here in Healdsburg, Donnelly was in left. Zach Chigero, the catcher today, he is batting eighth, and rounding out things for the Crawdads, Cameron Calvillo, the shortstop, batting ninth. On the mound for them will be Antoine Valerio, who's making his first start of the summer for the Crawdads, a new addition. We'll get more into Valerio when he's on the mound in the bottom of the first. For Healdsburg, it's Jake Holcroft in center, Zach Vuletich, the second baseman, batting second. Joe Kramer, the third baseman, batting third. Braden Runyon, the first baseman, batting fourth. Sam Brown batting fifth. He's in left. Jared Sundstrom, the right fielder, batting sixth. Kimball Schuessler, the catcher, batting seventh. Carson Crawford batting eighth. He's a DH. And Loudon Brooks batting ninth. Caden Noah, the pitcher for Healdsburg. National anthem about to get underway here. We'll have that for you.
Early light, what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes in bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red leather bombs bursting was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
National anthem in the books. We are just about ready for first pitch. First pitch was scheduled at 6, just a little behind schedule here at 6:05 right now. So 4 games remaining starting tonight. There is a possible 5th game that could be played, Austin, but we won't know if the Crawdads will have to play that game at all. It all depends whether they're able to get themselves into a position where they either need to play that makeup game against Healdsburg, and that would be next week, or if they don't need it either because they've already qualified or they have been eliminated from playoff contention. So it could be a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, that game has been scheduled. We don't know if it's going to be played yet, but it will be next Tuesday up here in Healdsburg. And for these guys, they don't want to come back to Healdsburg. They want to end the season on a high note. They want to win out and really solidify their place in the CCL standings. And, it would take a lot. It would take some really tough wins. But the good thing for the Crawdads is this is the last time they have to play Healdsburg.
It is a good thing. Healdsburg has been so dominant, and recently the Crawdads letting the Prune Packers off the hook at Monte Vista. A game at one point the Crawdads led 7-2, and really things kind of fell apart in the later innings. Really the second inning of work that Gabe Tanner had that game, as he got tagged for multiple runs. But the Crawdads are hoping that things are different here tonight. Crawdads on the road. They're going to be playing in their charcoal gray jerseys with the red lettering and the gray pants. Healdsburg in the prune-colored tops, the dark kind of wine red with the white pants. So they are ready to go. Today's starter for Healdsburg, it is Caden Noah. Noah, lefty junior from University of Texas. 3-1 so far this season for the Crawdads with a 2.16 ERA. This is his 6th start, 8th appearance overall. He's thrown 25 innings, 36 strikeouts to just 11 walks, and has given up 18 hits. So 29 hits and walks between the 25 innings he's pitched, so he's going to allow some base runners on, but trying to crack him for a few runs, that could be tough, Austin.
Well, that's what the Crawdads did last time they faced him. He allowed base runner after base runner. When the Crawdads were here, they had a base runner in each of the last 8 innings and were just unable to push any across. And so I think if they continue to get base runners on, this is a different Crawdads team than it was the last time that they played Healdsburg. It's, I think, a deeper lineup with a bunch of guys swinging the bat better, and I think it bodes well for the Crawdads.
Oh, we'll see what the Crawdads can do tonight. Snapping a big losing streak yesterday against Sonoma, able to gut things out in extra innings, and first pitch on the way here in Healdsburg, and it is cracked down the first base line, but right to Runyon, the first baseman, who takes it to the bag for out number 1. Pretty good swing of the bat there from the leadoff batter, Ryan Ellis, who coming into that bat was hitting .356, 4 home runs, 23 RBIs, but right over at Runyon, the corner infielder.
Well, it is, and I think that the lineup card they gave us gave it wrong, because that is not Runyon at first. That's Sam Brown over at first, and Braden Runyon's in left.
Oh, the lineup card, incorrect. Clear that up. Thank you, Austin. Pitch here misses low to Corio. The count 1-0. A Runyon in left. Brown at first. So Brown with the 3 unassisted play. The 1-0 pitch to Corio, and he fouls this out of play. Count 1-1. Corio hitting .274, 3 homers, 19 driven in. Corio, a switch hitter, going to be batting from the righty stance, at least early, against Noah, the lefty. Wonder what Corio would look like lefty against a lefty as Noah shakes off his catcher Schussler, and Corio takes a big swing and misses. Count 1-2.
That was one thing we saw a lot the last time that the Crawdads were here. It was a lot of shaking off of Caden Noah to his catcher Kimball Schussler. Of course, a couple Texas guys that know each other pretty well.
Noah was going for a record with no nods.
3 right there.
That's 3 in a row. The 1-2 pitch to Corio. Chops us on the ground. Gets over to the third baseman, Kramer, and kind of eats him up. Kramer throw over to first, and Corio beats it out. Corio able to make it down the line and safe at first, and not a play that you're used to seeing Kramer not come up with there. That was a couple of easy hops for the third baseman.
Yeah, that's just the fourth error of the summer for Joey Kramer, and he was kind of stuck in between. Do I go for that big back hop, or do I come charge it and get a big hop there? And like I said, caught in between, was unable to have it catch the back of his glove.
Oh, here is the lefty Ryan Brome. He's in left field tonight for the Crawdads. Corio off of first. First pitch to Brome. And foul tipped into the mitt of Schussler. The defense for the Prune Packers. It's Schussler behind home plate. Brown over at first. Vuletic at second. Kramer at third. He just had the error. Loudon Brooks, the shortstop. And then the outfield from left to right, it's Runyon, Holcroft, and Sundstrom. Count 0-1 to Ryan Brome, top of the first. No score yet. And Corio going to take off for second. The throw from Schussler, is it there? And it is. Corio gunned down. A great tag applied from the covering shortstop, Loudon Brooks. That throw was pretty far off the bag, but Loudon just able to pull it back.
Yeah, very nice play by Loudon Brooks, who I was talking to some of the guys. They said that Loudon Brooks might be the best defensive player in the entire CCL, and he really showed it there. Full extension out to his left to apply the tag on Corio.
Definitely an argument to be made for Brooks, and there's a big breaking ball in their first strike. The count 1-2 to Brome, who's hitting .385. 2 home runs, 32 RBIs for the lefty slugger. At one point, he was leading the CCL in RBIs. And he got sick, of course. He's better now. The 1-2 pitch, and this misses low outside. The count even. A lot of twos on that scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away here in the top of the first in Healdsburg.
Ryan Brome does have a chance to, if he ends the season hot, to lead the CCL in batting average. He's just about 10 points behind Tyler Gannett, who's in first.
2-2 pitch to Brome, and he's going to strike out here, so not going to increase that batting average in the top of the first in Healdsburg is Ryan Brome. The Crawdads are able to get Corio on, but he's gunned down by Schussler. Huge play there over at second, and then Brome just striking out seconds ago. Well, after half an inning here in Healdsburg, it is still 0-0. Healdsburg going to have their first crack at things offensively when we come back, and we'll get our first look at Antoine Valerio, the starter for the Crawdads. More Crawdads baseball here when we return on the Crawdads streaming network. Bottom of the first inning, Crawdads not able to score in the top of the first, so we'll see if they can keep things scoreless here with Antoine Valerio making his first start of the summer for the Dads this evening. The righty Valerio with a 2-seamer, a changeup, and a slider. Fastball tops out right around 85. The slider hangs out in the high 70s, and the changeup right around 73, 74. But Valerio has pitched against the Crawdads, Austin, and he pitched for the Bay Area Force.
And he was pretty good there. 4 innings, 3 strikeouts. The Force ended up winning that game, the only game truly out of league, in my opinion, that the Crawdads lost. I don't think that the CCL South game should count as non-league. But Valerio's solid. He's a strike thrower.
Leading things off is Jake Holcroft, and as you mentioned, strike thrower, Valerio, able to fool Holcroft there in the count 0-1.
Nice first pitch changeup action from Valerio. I like it. I like the confidence.
Valerio delivers a second pitch and goes off speed once again. The count 0-2. Valerio looking comfortable already against Jake Holcroft, the #1 hitter for Healdsburg tonight, hitting .368, 4 home runs, 31 RBIs. The righty Valerio kicks and deals, misses just a bit outside, and the count of ball and 2 strikes to Holcroft.
I like him pitching backwards here, starting off with 2 off-speed pitches, then trying to get Holcroft to chase.
1-2, and that just misses a tad high. Looked like it was on the outside corner to the lefty. Holcroft, one of the few lefties in this lineup tonight for Healdsburg. The 2-2 pitch, and this misses high. There was the heater. Had a little extra on it from Valerio. But the count runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. After Holcroft, it's Vuletic, then Kramer. A lot of power in this lineup. Now, the pitch. Holcroft able to tap this foul into the backstop. We'll see another payoff pitch.
Valerio needs to make sure to not walk Holcroft. You don't want to give him any free passes. I think he'd much rather give up a base hit than a walk in this situation, especially after being up 0-2.
Payoff pitch once again from Valerio, and this is slapped foul down the left field line. A little bit of a battle here already between Valerio and Holcroft. After Kramer, the #3 hitter, then it's the big bat of Braden Runyon batting 4th, as this pitch is hit into shallow right field. That'll get down. And Holcroft has a leadoff single for the Prune Packers. So Holcroft was able to foul some pitches away, finally got something he could work with, and he has a hit.
But I'm really not upset with that at bat from Antoine Valerio. He was able to start him off 0-2, worked backwards as I mentioned, and then just a little broken bat liner over Corio.
I think the slider is going to be key tonight for Antoine out on the mound. Here is Zach Vuletic hitting .329, 4 home runs, 20 driven in. Pickoff move over to first. Not in time. Sam Brown batting 5th. Sundstrom batting 6th. He's got a lot of power. Schuessler batting 7th. Crawford the 8th hitter. And #9, Loudon Brooks. So once again, that's the lineup for Healdsburg. Still nobody out here, 0-0. And that pitch misses low. The count 1-0.
Thing I do remember about Antoine Valerio is he does struggle from the stretch a little bit. He's very confident from the windup, but as soon as there's runners on base, he tends to overthink.
Valerio letting that arm hang. Now he's set high. And the 1-0 pitch. This is chopped high and over the leaping Ryan Ellis over at third. That's where Ellis' short stature did not help him out.
Right, that's where if you had a Jacob Craig 6'2" over there, it would have been a lot easier for him to make that play and maybe turn it into 2. But 2 balls that were hit very softly off the bats of these Packers. I think they're not seeing Valerio as well as it might look like on the scoreboard.
A couple of runners on. Vuletic now at first. Holcroft over at second. And here is the powerful bat of Joe Kramer. Kramer hitting .385, 10 home runs, 45 driven in. The pitch to Kramer, and he whiffs badly. Good pitch from Valerio. Valerio been able to pull the string pretty effectively so far on the 3 hitters that he's faced here in the bottom of the first. Still nobody out, though. 0-1 pitch, and this misses away. The count, a ball and a strike. Well, the Crawdads were able to snap a 5-game losing streak yesterday in Danville. Just had a great performance out of Jack Ben-Shoshan out of the bullpen. 11 strikeouts for Ben-Sho. And the 1-1, and this is hit hard into left field. Are they going to send the runner? No, they're not. The bases are loaded. And that is 3 straight singles to start things off for the Prune Packers tonight.
Well, not a very good start for the Crawdads, who were unable to score in the first inning, and now bases loaded jam for the first appearance. Welcome to the Crawdads, Antoine Valerio.
It's tough. First appearance for the Crawdads, making his debut here, trying to help this pitching staff and this team finish out the season, as it's pretty depleted right now, but not an easy crew to go up against in the Healdsburg Prune Packers. So here is Braden Runyon hitting .333 with 5 homers, 23 RBIs. And the first pitch, Runyon pops it up high. It's in foul territory. Tejero looking at it. Now him and Ellis are going to run into each other, and Ellis falls over. So someone not making a good call for the ball there.
Well, both of them asked for it. That's Ellis's ball all the way. It's not Tajero at all. And by the time both of them got over there, they both wanted to make a play. By the time Tajero got over, he was too close to Ellis to where he couldn't move and try to recover.
Ellis not able to make the play because of some miscommunication. Oh, just a strike. The count 0-1 to Runyon. That would have been a huge out to get for Valerio. The 0-1 pitch, and Runyon pops this foul, but it's going to land past the barns near the first baseline bleachers. The count 0-2.
A strikeout situation for Valerio, a pop-out situation would do as well, and that's why first play to Ellis would have been so huge. Would have done the same thing as a strikeout, but on just one pitch.
Bases are loaded, nobody out. Bottom of the first, still scoreless, but that could change here. And stepping off is Valerio. I'll get back on.
Just has to make sure to keep the ball down.
Winds and deals does Valerio. Kept the ball down there, but it's fouled over to the dugout of the Prune Packers, and a nice play being made there by one of the Prune Packers who's sitting behind the dugout here.
I think that was that Caden? It was Caden Noah that made that play, the pitcher tonight.
Caden Noah, good hand-eye right now. And the 0-2, big kick, fires, and this is hit on the ground over to short. Calvillo up with it to Corio at second for one. They turn it over to first, and they get a double play. One run does score, but I think the Crawdads would trade one run for 2 outs in that situation.
Absolutely, that's why they were playing back in that situation. I mean, that's huge, to give up 3 straight hits and then have the cleanup hitter up. And if Valerio can get out of this with only 1 run allowed, that would be monumental for the Dads.
Vuletic does move up to third, but Kramer and Runyon taken care of, 2 away, and here comes the number 5 hitter, Sam Brown.
By the way, Cam Calvillo just looks unbelievably smooth over at shortstop.
Doesn't he just make it look so cool and easy? I mean, the way he pivots and turns and delivers the ball, it's so good. The first pitch to Brown. Misses outside, and even when Ellis had been playing short, nothing looked that smooth out of any of the other players who have played shortstop this season for the Dads. 1-0 pitch. This is hit on the ground over to Tyson Corio. Takes a few hops. He has it. And it's over to first in time, and Valerio somehow able to get out of a bases-loaded jam in the bottom of the first and only give up 1 run. It is 1-0 Healdsburg here after 1. Crawdads up to bat in the top of the second when we return here from Healdsburg, California on the Crawdads streaming network. Top of the second inning, the Crawdads down by a run. It's 1-0 Healdsburg here at Historic Recreation Park in Healdsburg, California, a venue that has seen baseball, had baseball played in it since 1900, so it's been around a long time.
So were you there when the park opened?
No, I was not.
Okay.
But Mr. Baseball, or I believe that's his name, he's a time traveler. He's actually the mascot for Healdsburg. I don't know if you've seen him yet this season.
I have not. I'm not as fond of Mr. Baseball as I am of, say, Rawhide out in Sonoma.
Yeah, Rawhide, a great mascot, one of the many great mascots we have in the CCL. So, Crawdads up to bat. Noah still on the mound. And Coleman Schmidt takes the first pitch. Count 1-0. It is Schmidt, Tiers, and Duroff. Schmidt batting fourth tonight, hitting .344. Just got his 10th home run yesterday. 1-0 pitch. That's called a strike. Finding a high location on the inner portion of the plate is the lefty Noah.
If I'm Noah, I am not going back there. After Schmidt sees one of those with that break coming in on him, that's a perfect spot for him to take one out to left.
See if Schmidt can turn on one. The 1-1 pitch, and Schmidt tried right there, but Noah able to bust in a bender and bury it down and in.
So Noah took that location, and instead of leaving it in the same one, he just buried it a little further inside, and that threw Schmidt off. Really nice pitch sequence there.
Against a dangerous and powerful hitter in Coleman Schmidt. 1-2 pitch to Schmidt, and Schmidt swings at a pitch in the dirt. The second straight breaking ball, and Schussler tosses over to first. That's Brown over there. Plenty of time to get Schmidt. Schmidt just absolutely fooled.
Yeah, Caden Noah can pitch. I will admit that. Caden Noah can pitch. The one plus about Noah on the mound is that he is not a guy that goes deep into ball games. He's only gone up to 5 innings this summer, but they're going to need to find a way to get to him at least a bit in the first couple frames.
Strikeout and then 2-3 put out of Coleman 2. 0-2 to Duroff, 2 away here. Top of the second, 1-0 Healdsburg, and Duroff strikes out as well. So 3 strikeouts for Caden Noah in the top of the second. Able to get Schmidt, Tiers, and Duroff. Coming up, Valerio back out on the mound for the Crawdads here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Score run in the bottom of the first. It is Sundstrom, Schussler, and Crawford. Pitch missed low on the count 2-0. .2-0 pitch from Valerio, and still unable to find the strike zone against Sundstrom. The count 3 balls and no strikes. Kicks and deals, and that fastball misses inside, and that's 4 straight misses from Antoine Valerio. What do you think happened there, Austin? Just kind of the accuracy got away from him a little bit?
I think he was trying to spot instead of just to pitch. He wasn't trusting his stuff really there. I think it's easy when you see a guy with 11 home runs and think, I don't really want to pitch to this guy.
Sundstrom has been vicious at the plate this summer. Batting average has dipped down below 300, but as you mentioned, 11 home runs, 28 driven in. A lot of power, hitting at 287. Here's Kimball Schussler, the catcher, batting 298 for RBIs. Sundstrom off of first, nobody out, 1-0 Healdsburg. Here in the bottom of the second, as this is fouled high and out of play, the count 0-1 to Schussler.
Good to see him get right back in the zone there against what you could say is probably a lesser hitter than the CCL's home run leader.
No argument about that. And Valerio nods a couple of times, and the 0-1 pitch, and looking for that slider. Speaking to pitching coach Jack Delmore before the game, and said he really likes a slider from Valerio, but sometimes Valerio really needs to trust it, not try to aim it so much, as you mentioned earlier, Austin, not trying to aim the ball, just let it go. Pickoff move over to first. Not in time. But I think that can be the case for a lot of young arms who are trying to paint a little too perfect of a picture. Sometimes you just got to grip it and rip it. 1-1 to Schussler, and this misses low and outside, and the count 2-1. The Crawdads a game back of second right now. Lincoln and Solano playing tonight as well.
We will have a close eye on that game for you.
That game very important. Pitch, and that finds the zone.
There's a realistic chance that at the end of today, there is a three-way tie for second place.
Between the Lincoln, Solano, and the Crawdads. Count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Still nobody out. Sundstrom with a small lead off of first. Being held on by Duroff. Move over to first. Back in safely is Sundstrom. The defense today for the Crawdads. Tejero behind home plate. He's the catcher. Duroff at first. Coria the second baseman. Ellis at third. Calvillo the shortstop. Brome in left. Coleman Schmidt in center. And Joey Donnelly in right. And the 2-2. Sundstrom takes off from first. Tejero up with it to throw, and it's not going to be there in time. Actually skips a little bit into the outfield grass, but backing things up was Calvillo. But Sundstrom has a steal of second. Now the count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, in prime position for a double play ball there until Sundstrom took second base. His 10th steal of the summer. He's been very efficient too.
Smart move. Sundstrom's got the wheels. Now you probably aren't going to hit into a double play. 3-2 pitch, and this is hammered into center on a line, but right at Coleman Schmidt, who takes a little skip out there as he fielded the ball. I maybe thought, I don't know, it was right at him. He didn't have to jump.
I have no idea. I mean, that ball was hit so hard, and I think it was knuckling towards Schmidt. And so I've mentioned this so much this summer. The ball hit right at you in the outfield is the toughest play, and I think it just kind of came up on him a little harder than he thought it did. I thought that ball was dropping off the bat.
I thought it stayed up there for a while, though. I thought that was definitely going to drop in front of the center fielder Schmidt. He actually had to run in and get it. Took a little pro hop there. A 1 away. Here's Carson Crawford. Pitch to Crawford, righty against righty, and it misses low. The count 1-0. It's 1-0 Healdsburg. Crawford, the DH tonight for the Prune Packers for Joey Gomes' team. He's hitting .232, 2 home runs, 14 RBIs. 1-0 pitch, and this is fouled high and away. The count 1-1. However, Crawford
On Valerio, you want to go after these last 2 hitters in Crawford and Brooks on deck.
Not a lot of holes to here for Valerio as he authors a strike, and the count 1-2. It looks like the off-speed stuff and the breaking stuff has been good for Valerio so far. Just about making sure it doesn't bounce in the dirt. And the 1-2 pitch, here it is. This is hit hard on the ground over to Ellis, who goes down to a knee to make the stop. Fires over to first. Is it in time? It is. What a play by Ryan Ellis. Going down, hitting the deck, getting that ball, and firing it across the diamond. A good job by the corner infielders. First to third baseman Ellis, and a good stretch by the first baseman, Brian Duroff.
That's a huge play. If Ellis knows that if it gets by him, then Sundstrom is easily in left field. He hesitated for a second to see if he was close enough to Sundstrom to make the tag there, but instead fires to first and trusts his arm enough to be able to get it there in time. Nice play.
That's the first time I think we've really seen Ellis look comfortable when he has to hit that back heel in the ground and then just unload with the cannon. Not able to make a play on the run, just has to trust the arm. Pitch here from Valerio. This misses away. The count 1-0 to Loudon Brooks. Brooks hitting just 200 with 11 RBIs. He's the shortstop this evening for Healdsburg. Healdsburg with the best record in the CCL. 1-0 pitch misses low and away. Count 2-0. Healdsburg 33-8 this season overall. 22-8 in league play. The Crawdads 21-20 overall. 14-15 in league play. Healdsburg, their only losses have happened against CCL North competition. The 2-0 pitch, and this is hit very high into short left field, and who's going to make the play? It's going to be Calvillo, the shortstop, who called off the left fielder, Ryan Brome. And it looked like Brome thought he had that ball all the way, and Calvillo just said, to heck with it, I'm going to take it myself for out number 3. So Prune Packers are able to get a man in scoring position, but they're not able to convert. Good pitching from Calvillo and a great defensive play between the corner infielders for the Crawdads. Ellis at third, Duroff at first. It is still 1-0 Healdsburg. Top of the third coming up when we return from Healdsburg on the Crawdads streaming network.
For the Crawdads.
Already some better results for the Dads. 1-1 pitch to Donnelly. That hits the zone. Count 1-2.
It was great to see Joey get off the schneid yesterday. Have 3 hits. Definitely swinging the bat better than he was of late in conference play.
Donnelly was mired in a horrible stretch and stays alive here. Fouls this back. The count 1-2. And how high did that streak get up to, Austin?
I think it got up to 2 for 38.
2 for 38. So that
somewhere
is
in that realm.
not where you want to be as a ball player at any time, but every ball player does go through some bad stretches. 1-0 Healdsburg, top of the third. 1-2 pitch to the leadoff man here in the top of the third, and it strikes out Donnelly on the inside corner. Donnelly not able to pull the trigger. That is 4 straight strikeouts now, 5 actually, going back all the way to the first inning for Caden Noah. He has struck out Brome, Schmidt, Tiers, Duroff, and now Donnelly all in order.
So Joey Donnelly, of course, hoping that he doesn't start another one of those. It was 2 for 41. But he's a talented hitter. He knew he would get out of it. As did I. I kept telling him.
No, you really did. Come on, Joey, get your head in it. You're good enough for this. First pitch here to Tejero misses away. The count 1-0. After Tejero, it's Cameron Calvillo. Tejero hitting .241, 14 RBIs. Find a hole here on the right side. He does. It just skips past Brown, the first base there, did the ball. And Tejero safe on first. That's the first hit of the afternoon for the Crawdads. Of the evening, I should say. It's past 6:30, but still pretty bright out here in Healdsburg.
He will definitely take that one. Just a poke right through the right side. He got it through. It was a nice piece of hitting there. It was weird. It looked like it took a awkward hop up to Brown at first because it just got under his glove. He was right in position to field it.
Oh, Tejero off of first, 1 away. It's 1-0 Healdsburg. And Calvillo swings at a pitch low. Count 0-1.
Tejero has about as big a leadoff first as I did in high school, which is to say not much at all.
Not much room there between the runner and the bag. Tejero, the catcher tonight. Tough to get those catcher's legs going. And the 0-1 pitch. This is fouled back into the screen. Count 0-2.
If I had to make a somewhat educated guess, I think you can call my guesses about this team relatively educated at this point.
Bust out the cannon against, and Caden Noah is on it.
He's good. He can pitch.
It's already 6 strikeouts in 2 2/3 innings of work.
I call this a Ben show.
You could call this a Ben show. This is very similar to what Jack Ben-Shoshan did yesterday. 11 strikeouts out of the bullpen. Our lineup card turns over. Ryan Ellis is 0 for 1. Hit it over to the first baseman Brown. Start things off tonight. First pitch to Ellis misses way high. Now 1-0.
But I think this is a guy that he sees the ball well against. I mean, most pitchers, Ryan Ellis is going to see the ball well against. He's just that talented of a hitter. He hit the ball hard his first at bat, just right at Brown.
2 away. It's 1-0 Healdsburg. The 1-0 pitch to the third baseman for the Dads. Here it is. This misses high. Count 2-0. Do apologize, folks. We do know that the audio is coming through, but the video is completely lost. We'll be working on that throughout the intermissions, so that way we can bring you some pictures. But right now, audio only. We will effort to correct that. Tajero still off at first. He had the first hit tonight for the Crawdads, and this misses high. Ellis ahead 3-0.
If I'm Ryan Ellis here, I am taking all the way in 3-0. Even with a relatively short porch in right field where he loves to take it, not risking anything, especially with Caden Noah, who's so adept with the strikeouts. You don't want to give him anything back in the zone.
Oh, we'll see. What Noah does is home plate umpire threw a ball away there right before the pitch. 3-0 pitch, and this misses high. That's a 4-pitch walk to Ryan Ellis. So the Crawdads with multiple base runners on now. Tajero moves into scoring position over at second. That's exactly like you said, Austin. I mean, there was no chance of Ryan Ellis swinging at that pitch.
I mean, it just looked like Caden Noah didn't want anything to do with Ryan Ellis. Really, he's hit the hardest ball of the day for the Crawdads, and I wouldn't want to pitch to Ryan Ellis. I'm sure you wouldn't either.
You try to bust him inside, he just turns on it.
Right.
He's leaving the ballpark. Oh, here is Tyson Corio, who did reach in the first, but it was on an error.
Though he hit it pretty hard to third. It was a chopper, but it was a hard hit chopper.
On the count 0-1. Breaking ball has been there all night for Noah. There's 2 away. Healdsburg leads by a run. It's 1-0. Pitch here. This misses high. Count 1-1. Well, Corio was a very important player yesterday in the Crawdads' victory against the Stompers. Was able to stay out of some key outs over at first. Some outs that could have killed some rallies that the Crawdads ended up needing to come back in that game.
And he knocked in the tying run, which was pretty important.
Oh, so huge. Runners have their leads. The 1-1 pitch. Corio chops it as foul. Count 1-2. Corio in his second at-bat tonight, both right-handed against the lefty Noah. Top of the third. Crawdads won yesterday, trying to keep the good positive feelings going tonight here in Healdsburg, but they're down by a run. As Noah takes a long look into his catcher, Schussler. Now Schussler is set and ready for the pitch on the outside, and the pitch misses low and in.
Very good take by Corio, a sharp breaking ball. Corio nearly pulled the trigger, but was able to hold up.
Yeah. Seems to be more of a contact hitter and just put it in play and try to run when he's batting righty. Noah looks back to second. Looks back again and fires 2-2 pitch. Tyson Corio going to the opposite side. But the Crawdads not able to get anything out of 2 runners on base as that ball was lined right to Jared Sundstrom in right field. After 2.5, it is still 1-0 Healdsburg. Bottom of the third coming up when we return here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Bottom of the third inning, Jake Holcroft leading off for the Prune Packers, who are in front 1-0. Crawdads able to get some base runners on last half inning, but not able to score. But they're hanging tough right now. It's Holcroft, Vuletic, and Joe Kramer, 1, 2, and 3 for the Prune Packers. Valerio still on the mound for the Crawdads, and this pitch misses away. The count 1-0. Elsewhere around the CCL, Caneo Oaks taking on the Arroyo Seco Saints in center. Running back is a combination of Schmidt and Donnelly, and Schmidt tracks it down about 25 feet in front of the scoreboard that's in play here in left center field. Round number 1.
Coleman Schmidt is so athletic. 3 lacks an ability to read a ball off the bat. He can just make up with his elite athleticism, and that's exactly what he did there.
On his horse on that last play. Pitch here to Vuletic, and this is hit high and deep into left. And is that ball going to get out of here? No, it's going to land in the gap in front of the scoreboard that's in play. And that'll be a very long double for Zach Vuletic, who's now 2 for 2. Holcroft, who just flew out. Vuletic now at second. He's 2 for 2 today with a single and now a double. And here comes Joe Kramer, who's 1 for 1 with a single. I mentioned the Caneo Oaks taking on the Arroyo Seco Saints. The Oaks up 3-2 in the bottom of the second in Pasadena. 2-0. 2-0. Excuse me. Kramer on the elbow. Kramer hit by a pitch. There are 2 on with 1 away. It's 1-0 Healdsburg. But they're threatening once again.
This is similar to the situation that Valerio was in the last time he faced Runyon, was able to get a double play. I am about 100% positive that he would take that same result again here. Take twice, so Valerio asked.
There's 1 away, 2 runners are on. Valerio looking back to second, now he'll deliver, and big swing and a miss from Braden Runyon. But boy, you can see the power in that bat. Valerio not intimidated. Went right after him. Count 0-1, and also just want to update everybody on that all-important game in Lincoln between the Mudcats and the Potters. It's scoreless, just in the top of the second. Be keeping close tabs on that game. 0-1 on the way, and instead Valerio steps off and walks off the mound. Vuletic at second, Kramer at first. Vuletic with a deep double. Couple of hard hit balls into left center field as this pitch misses low in the dirt, but smothered by the catcher, Tejero. Count 1-1. Good block out of Tejero. He did a very good job to get that. Even gets a pat on the back from the home plate umpire. The home plate umpire liked that play.
It's always a good feeling.
Kept him safe. Valerio is set. And now he'll step off once again. Well, now Tejero going to talk to the young righty, Antoine Valerio. And it's so fascinating to see these two work together, because Valerio has had essentially 0 time with his team. He saw the team in play more when he played for the Bay Area Force than he has today so far.
That is completely true.
But Valerio has been pretty darn good with runners on in every inning thus far. The 1-1 pitch. This is hit up the middle, hard on the ground, ends up in center. Coleman Schmidt going to make a throw to the plate, and it's not going to be cut off. It gets by Tejero. Now the runners will advance once again. So it was an RBI single for Braden Runyon. And Kramer moves up.
Team to add on is where they get 1 break to go their way. Now Valerio has to be very careful with what he does with runners on second and third, just 1 out.
Just 1 away. It is 2-0 Healdsburg. And here is Sam Brown. First pitch to the lefty Brown, and a little tapper that is down the third base line. Sliding to get to it is Valerio. He makes the throw over to first, and a great play by Valerio to gun down the speedy Brown. I'm not sure how Valerio got enough steam on that ball. He was on the deck when he made the throw.
I thought there was none chance that he was going to make that play. Sliding to get the ball, and then still on the ground, threw it almost like catapulted it over to first. somehow gets a massive out number 2, showing elite athleticism there.
Well, Brown now 0 for 2, and all because of a great play from the pitcher Valerio, who just sold out for that ball all the way. Did everything he could to make sure that it wasn't a hit. Here's Jared Sundstrom, who has to lean out of the way for the Prune Packers. He walked in his first trip to the plate and then stole second. 1-0 pitch, and saying, darn it, should have had that pitch. Didn't want to leave it up there. The count, 2 balls and no strikes with 2 outs, runners on second and third for the Prune Packers, who lead 2-0. The pitch here, and completely out of sorts with the swing, and coming up empty is Sundstrom. Not every day you see Jared Sundstrom have a swing of that caliber, but he was fooled big time there by Valerio. The count 2-1. Is hit foul on the ground. Down the third base line, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Crawdads know they have to take care of business tonight to keep their season alive. This is not a must-win, but about as close as you can get to a. And the 2-2 pitch. Here it is. This comes in and it hits Sundstrom, and that hit him right on the hand. Bases are now loaded. That's the second hit batsman for Healdsburg here in the bottom of the third. Joe Kramer was hit. He's over at third. Brandon Runyon got a hit. And now Jared Sundstrom is hit. Been in some hot water this evening with the bases loaded. This is the second time Valerio's in this situation. Here's Kimball Schuessler, who lined out to center in his first at-bat. First pitch to Schuessler, and he hits this down the right field line, but that's going to land foul by about 7 or 8 feet. Whew. That was a close call there for the Crawdads. The count 0-1. 2 away, 2-0 Healdsburg. Valerio wants to keep it that way. Still corrupted. We're going to try to fix that during the break. Appreciate all those kind Crawdads folks for bearing with us. It's always tough. And here's the 0-1 to Schuessler, and this misses low. Count 1-1.
Please do, however, let us know if the audio is corrupted as well. I know that it sounds good coming out of our end, but I know my mom said that the last time we were here it was a little difficult to hear us. Thank you, Shelley.
It is a 120-year-old ballpark. The 1-1 pitch, and this is a big bouncer, but foul down the third base line. And maybe they didn't put the internet. They weren't anticipating internet 122 years ago.
So. No, I heard there was some guy, Joe DiMaggio, that played here.
He did. Joe DiMaggio has graced this field with his presence. Just wonder when that was. He played here as a kid or came back during the offseason. 1-2 pitch, and that's a slider right there on the outside corner for strike number 3. Valerio walks the tightrope, gets out of the bases loaded situation. This game, top of the fourth coming up when we return. Austin Oda on play-by-play, and we'll be right back with more Crawdads baseball here on the Crawdads Streaming Network.
A slider that misses way up high. One thing that's interesting to note about Caden Noah, the man on the mound, is he is not a hard thrower. I went down and asked Nate Nordell, who's working the radar gun, about how hard he was throwing as the 1-0. Rome takes called strike 1 with fastball in the outer black, 1-1. I went down and asked Nate what he was throwing, expecting, I don't know, 88 to 89, maybe touching 90. But he's sitting just about a mile or two higher than Antoine Valerio. The 1-1. Rome takes a curveball down low, 2-1. And really what his bread and butter is it's not the fastball, it's that big curveball and the slider and how they play off of each other. 2-1 to Brome, the 3-hitter in the Crawdads lineup. Brome, Schmidt, and Tiers. Noah fires. Brome takes up high, ball 3.
Good at bat so far from Ryan Brome, and Want to inform everybody, looks like the video component of our broadcast is back online, so we'll try to keep it that way.
The 3-1 pitch to Brome is outside, ball 4. It's been almost a month, and we finally can say death taxes and Ryan Brome taking walks.
I was just going to say, partner, that it's been almost a calendar month that we have not
It's been since July 6th.
have not called Ryan Brome's name for a walk.
Excuse me.
That's his 26th walk of the summer. He was stuck on 25, which seems like it has been a long time.
Right, at one point it was 25 walks and 25
games.
and now it's 35 games and 25 walks. Now Coleman Schmidt in the box, the big right-handed batter, leads the Crawdads in home runs with 10 of them. Just got up to double digits yesterday, but is 0 for 1 with a K today. First pitch to Schmidt. Line drive to short, caught by Brooks, diving to his right. What a play.
Well, you just put a star next to that one because you can't be mad about that. It's a well-hit ball. Loudon Brooks, the shortstop, who's a defensive specialist really for this team. The batting average, not high for him, but what a great play he just made there.
Well, his teammate Ryan Brome said that he might be the best. His teammate at Texas Tech, Ryan Brome, said that he might be the best defender in the CCL, and he showed it off there. Really, Healdsburg all around the diamond, just terrific defensive players. You think Sundstrom in right, you think Holcroft in center. Jonas Sebring, back while he was with the team, was tremendous. Kimball Schuessler, maybe the best catcher in the entire CCL. And here's Kavares Tears, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. First pitch to Tears is a big curveball that misses up and in, 1-0. A lot of the Crawdads, 6 of them are 0 for 1 with a strikeout, but the at-bats the second time through for the top of the order have been much, much better. 1-0 to Tears with Brome on first. Noah fires. Tears takes down low and inside with a fastball, 2-0.
Some more patience being displayed here the second time through, and I'm glad that Kavares Tears laid off of a bit of a hanging curveball that was clearly a ball, but something maybe he could have done some damage with the first pitch of this at-bat. And now up 2-0. We might see Tears go into attack mode.
Noah, a high set. He deals. Tears pops it up. Was in attack mode there, but fouls it off. Back behind the screen. 2-1. 2-0 the score here in the top of the fourth inning from beautiful Recreation Park. Some of the odder dimensions, I would say.
Yeah, you could say that there's no other field in the CCL like this.
No.
Sonoma's close.
Sonoma's weird. That's what I'll say about Sonoma. 2-1 to Tears. Noah delivers. Tears right on it, but fouls it back to the screen. So it's listed out in deep center field, slightly left center as 400. That is further than 400. That is far closer to, I would say, 430 at least.
I think when you're hitting it past the scoreboard or over the ivy, that you're at least going 425. It's so deep there.
And there's no listing in left because of how shallow it is. I would say it's under 300. Then 336 to right, and that even feels like a long shot. 2-2 to Tears. He takes outside with a curveball, spits on it, and a really nice take. The count is full.
We've mentioned it before as well, how you have to do BP here. Everything shifted a little bit, so that way you don't launch balls into the houses across the street from the left field fence.
3-2 to the big KT, sitting on 4 home runs this summer. The payoff. Tears takes down low, ball 4. Wow. I think that at-bat was the epitome of the growth of Kavares Tears throughout this summer.
What an at-bat from Kavares Tears earlier in the summer, even maybe a week ago. He's swinging wild at that pitch, and that's a tough pitch to lay off of. It's a great curveball. It just ends up just a tad bit low. But Tears saw some very good pitches in that bat and said, if you're not going to throw me a fastball down the pipe, I'm not going to swing at it. And he tried to connect on a few pitches, but a very, very good at-bat, forcing Noah to throw multiple pitches there, taking him deep.
Here's Brian Duroff, who's 0 for 1. Struck out in his first at-bat. First pitch. Duroff flashes this one foul past third. Was well out in front, but got the fat part of the bat on it.
Good wood on that pitch for sure for Duroff. And one of the things with Duroff, who's batting lower in the lineup than he really has all season. He's trying to find that mojo again.
Batting average down under 300 for the first time in what feels like forever. Brome is the runner on second with Kavaras Tears on first. Good speed both ways. Duroff not as much, worried to try to beat out a double play ball. The 0-1. Duroff checks his swing, pops it up right side. Brown coming over, but it gets just into the stands. Off the fists of Duroff. 0-2.
Second, I thought that might land on top of the bunker. That's what I always call these dugouts. They're like bunkers. I'm always surprised you don't see players just sitting right on top of them. Instead, they elect to sit on the backstop behind the dugouts.
0-2 to Duroff with Joey Donnelly waiting on deck. Duroff trying to put the ball in play here. Keep the inning going. Noah trying to set him down for the second straight time. He checks second. Now pumps and delivers. And Duroff hits a high drive to left field. If it's fair, it's gone. See you later. Brian Duroff. We had to wait to make sure it was fair. That ball was clobbered. That ball is gone anywhere. Brian Duroff, 3 home runs this summer. The Crawdads take a 3-2 lead.
That ball just landed in someone's backyard. That's how deep that was hit. Everyone just a huge exhale out of the crowd here at Recreation Park, and just almost in awe of how high and hard and deep that ball was hit. That was an absolute moonshot from Brian Duroff. It's a grown man's strength right there.
We're hearing that it hit a roof of a house back there.
Oh, it hit a roof. That is incredible.
Wow. 3-2 Crawdads. A whole new ball game.
That is exactly what the Crawdads needed. They needed to score runs early against Healdsburg. It is the top of the fourth, so getting closer to the middle of this game, but able to put up a crooked number.
Now Joey Donnelly, first pitch swinging. He's right on it, back to the screen. Caden Noah showing a good amount of vulnerability here. He walked Tears, he walked Brome. He was ahead against Duroff, but just hung a fastball right down the middle. And now first pitch to Donnelly was cranked right back to the screen.
I'm still shocked by that home run from Duroff.
0-1. Donnelly hits it high and pretty deep into left. Runyon backing up, but he'll give way to Holcroft, the center fielder. Braden Runyon wanted nothing to do with that ball.
That pitch was hung there from Noah. That was a hanging breaking ball, and Donnelly had to take it the other way because it was on the outer portion of the plate. But that's kind of been what Noah's been doing a little bit. He's been missing some locations. He's been missing wild and far outside of the zone, and occasionally you'll get a cookie breaking ball that's just right there.
3-2, the Crawdads lead. Here's Zach Tajero, who's 1 for 1 today. Knocked a single through the right side his first time. He takes up high with a breaking ball, 1-0.
Even though that's a ball, I mean,
it's hanging.
It's hanging right there. And you got to be very mindful of that as a pitcher. When your curveball's not there for you, you have to go to some different weapons.
1-0 to Tajero. He checks his swing. Did he go? And no, he did not, says the third base umpire. It's 2-0. Fastball up high. Wow. I mean, Brian Duroff just mashed that ball.
He did. I'm so glad we had that on video for all you great Crawdads fans.
2-0 to Tajero. Noah delivers. Tajero takes down low, ball 3.
Tight zone right now.
Like we've said the whole summer, when you miss, you're not going to get those calls. If he's consistently throwing strikes, that's a call he gets every time. But it's 3-0 to Tajero, and he's in take mode here. He takes right down the pipe, 3-1.
And much like Ryan Ellis, who was ahead 3-0 in his last at-bat, just not going to swing the bat at that.
3-2, the Crawdads now lead. The 3-1. Tajero pops it up, back behind the plate, foul, 3-2.
The Crawdads weren't feeling pretty good about themselves after Valerio got out of some bases loaded situations. They have to be just ecstatic right now after Brian Duroff put them in the lead. It's 3-2 with that huge home run.
Here's the full count pitch to Tajero. He swings and fouls it off back behind the screen again. So these Crawdads batters the second time through, just a completely different lineup. This is a team that wants to make the playoffs.
Yes, this is a team that, this looks like the same team that finished the game yesterday. They definitely want it. And there were some questions about that.
Full count to Tajero. Noah shakes off his catcher Schussler. Now he finds the sign he likes and delivers. Tajero checks his swing and foul tips it. 3-2.
It's out there, Blue. Watch out.
And I think this is something that we've talked about a lot. We see it with Jared Sundstrom. He's a JUCO guy that plays every single pitch like it could be his last in baseball. And that's what Brian Duroff does. I think, you know, he gets so upset at himself when he doesn't succeed, and it's because he's playing his hardest every pitch. And it showed right there. That's the Brian Duroff everyone has been waiting for.
That had to feel good for him as well because he was really struggling after coming back from that hand injury.
3-2 to Tajero, who's working a long at-bat, and timeout called by Zach Tajero in the box.
It's a great at-bat from Tajero. The Crawdads have really gotten some phenomenal at-bats, not just Duroff with the big home run.
It's the 8th pitch. Noah deals. Ball 4 outside. Wow, Tajero took it. Looks like it was painted there, and Joey Gomes is hot. He's coming out of the dugout.
Joey's going to argue about this. There's not gonna
Maybe.
be- Oh, no, he's going to go talk to Caden Noah.
And he's looking towards his bullpen. I wonder if he'll make a move here. He'll go out to talk to Noah. 3-2, the Crawdads lead. Brian Duroff's monster shot to left field has made it that way.
At first, it looked like Gomes was glaring at the home plate umpire. Then he just sped his walk up over to the mound. But the Crawdads really have gotten some quality at-bats this half inning. I mean, even Coleman Schmidt, who was out on a liner, he put the bat on the ball real well. And it was just a great play from the shortstop, Loudon Brooks. But Brome doing usual Brome things, drawing a walk. But Kavara's Tears, you have to be awfully impressed with him, able to just spit on a beauty of a curveball and let it go low for a ball. And then we know what Duroff just did. And then Zach Tajero able to draw a walk. So these are the things that the Crawdads were doing so well when they were winning, when they were one of the hottest teams in the CCL. And maybe they're starting to pick those same habits up again.
So Caden Noah is going to stay out. He'll face Cam Calvillo in the other very important game in the CCL. Unfortunately for the Crawdads, the Lincoln Potters are up 2-0 and still threatening. They have the bases loaded and still no outs with already 2 runs in.
Very hard to beat Lincoln in Lincoln. I'll say that. Very hard.
Shortstop number 15, Cameron Calvillo.
Here it's 3-2, the Crawdads lead. We will be sure to keep an eye on that other game for you, or at least I will. I am I'm very invested in that game.
I got it right here too, partner.
First pitch to Calvillo is a big breaker that misses. 1-0. The wonderful Phantom and Stones McCoy.
I got their bobblehead.
Did you?
I did.
I'm jealous.
They gave me one.
It's a very cool bobblehead. 1-0 to Calvillo. Noah deals. Calvillo hits it high and deep. Left field. Is it fair? No. Just foul. We have to wait so long to hear that call. Calvillo might have hit that ball further than Duroff.
Calvillo hit that into the street that divides us here into the intersection. That's how. Doing the wave with the hands.
So a very loud strike to Calvillo. Noah deals. Calvillo takes strike 2. As Ralph would say, the Crawdads assistant coach, you never put the ball in play after you get a foul ball home run. It's just impossible.
Doesn't happen too often. It's hard to do.
One and 2 to Calvillo. Tajero on first, 2 outs, 3 runs already home. He swings and misses. A good curveball in the dirt. Schussler up with it. Lollipops it to first in time, but the Crawdads take a 3-2 lead. Brian Duroff's third big fly makes it 3-2 here on the Crawdads streaming network.
Man hits home runs.
a turn of events for the Crawdads. And no, I'm not talking about Brian Duroff's big fly. I'm talking about these Packers players are now coming back onto the field immediately as that ball hit the dirt. Manager Cummings was out to the box to talk to the first base umpire. He said, that ball hit Calvillo's bat. The first base umpire said, you're right, it did. I saw it too. They all came back and conversed with each other, and Calvillo is going to be back in the batter's box. Joey Gomes, now he's hot. Now he's talking to the first base umpire. He's saying, I don't want my guys out in the sun anymore. But it was immediately, the first base umpire immediately agreed. There was no discussion.
Decision's already been made here, and they're going to have further discussion here. Calvillo's doing the right thing, standing in the dirt there. And the fans not happy about it at all here in Healdsburg. They're not used to losing here, to being on the other end of things. They're down by a run, but I thought Brian Cummings made a pretty good case saying that hit the bat. And yeah, the umpires are waving everybody back in. And this can really mess with the psyche and some of the mentality of the Healdsburg Prune Packers. They're used to having things kind of go in their direction most of the time, and now they're going to have to go back out onto the field and play some defense. And they're still waiting. So there might be a warning of some sort issued here. And I know it does take a little while to gear up and get your glove and then go back out, but they're really delaying the game here, Austin, and this could be a problem. And Joey Gomes is visibly frustrated, the manager of the Prune Packers. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a warning here from any of these three umpires.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more than a warning. I wouldn't be surprised if Joey Gomes ends up getting tossed.
How many times, and here's really the question, the home plate umpire has waved several times to the Prune Packers players to get back on the field. They're yelling back at him, telling him, no, our manager's out there having an argument still with the first base umpire. So how many times can you go back out there and try to appeal your case? Court is adjourned.
I don't understand the confusion of these Healdsburg fans right now either. I mean, if it was said once, the call was overturned. You're not going to overturn an overturn.
No,
even if you don't agree with the call, you have to understand the legitimacy of the game.
And that's how it works. And now the defense for Healdsburg is running back out.
And it's going to be a new pitcher too. Looks like Francis McDonough.
Forcing Healdsburg hand early here. The Crawdads are, because Calvillo able to stay alive. Now Calvillo is out of the batter's box as the defenders are now walking out on the field.
It'll be a new pitcher. It is Francis McDonough, who's a very hard thrower.
Still batting number 15.
McDonough throws extremely hard, but he has not been all that effective this season for the Prune Packers.
Very funky is McDonough. He, like Noah, doesn't throw as hard as it looks like he throws, because he's a guy that will whip it in there with the right arm. He's very whippy. I think that's kind of a perfect word to describe him, not to toot my own horn or anything.
No, it is. It is. He whips the ball,
right.
And you'll see it on the warm-ups here. There it is, right there.
It's elastic.
Yeah, and the elbow just bends down immediately. The forearm bends down, and the ball just shoots
almost
out
like
of his
a
shoulder.
catapult. But McDonough, like you mentioned, has struggled pretty heavily this summer, especially in recent action. There was one point where he was one of the most consistent arms in this Healdsburg bullpen. But really, I think it was partially the Crawdads that turned it around. He gave up 4 runs in an inning. 4 runs in an inning against the Crawdads on July 17th. Then the last time the Crawdads played Healdsburg, 3 runs in an inning. His ERA jumped from 3.38 to 7.71 within 3 games, 2 of them against the Dads. But he'll come out with a 1-2 count on Cam Calvillo. And just a weird game.
Odd game. Interesting to see Noah only go, make it into the 4th and not be able to make it through the 4th inning of work. At least for McDonough, he does come in with 2 away, but not the start that Healdsburg wanted out of Caden Noah. Only able to go 3 2/3, and he's tagged for 3 runs. Brian Duroff doing all the damage with his bat, and it's like McDonough's getting just a bit of an extended warm-up here, and should be ready to go.
In other news about that Lincoln-Solano game, Lincoln put up a 4 spot in the bottom of the second. They now lead 4-0. But Solano, really, they had the bases loaded, no outs, and already 2 runs in. To only allow 2 runs from there, I think they kept it in breathing distance.
They're cagey. They're a cagey team.
And that Solano team has come back against the Crawdads down 4.
They have, and they've gotten some key grand slams when they've needed them.
So, as I've mentioned, we'll keep you updated on that game. McDonough on the mound with a 1-2 count to Cam Calvillo. 3-2, the Crawdads lead, top of the 4th. Calvillo trying to do some damage, gets a second life. McDonough, the 1-2. Calvillo takes outside, ball 2.
And you almost assume that pitch is not going to be a strike.
No.
McDonough did not have an extended warm-up. The last pitcher for the Prune Packers, Noah, threw a bunch of balls.
And home plate umpire right now is not happy with Healdsburg. The 2-2. Calvillo grounds it to short in the hole. Brooks slides, picks it up, throws to first in time to get Calvillo. The crowd goes wild. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th. For real this time. 3-2 the score. The Crawdads streaming network. Bottom of the 4th inning, a new pitcher on the bump for the Crawdads. It's their CCL All-Star, the man out of Chabot, and now Cal State East Bay, Gabe Tanner, the big righty. Tanner, well, he did get that prospect game nod. He has struggled in recent games. He's 3-3 on the summer with a 6.27 ERA. He'll be making his 9th appearance of the summer. His last outing was against Healdsburg, and really, that's kind of where the game turned around. The Crawdads were up 7-2, and Tanner gave up 4 earned runs, 2 key walks, and some shoddy defense behind him. He'll be trying to redeem himself here. Tanner is ready. First pitch to Carson Crawford. The DH is fouled off. Back to the screen. Tanner, a pretty hard thrower, frequently gets up around 90 with the fastball, can hit 91, but usually sits in the 88-89 range. A good slider as well. 0-1 to Crawford. Tanner fires. Fastball swung on and missed. Knocks something off of Zach Tajero's glove, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, what is that? Tajero's picking it up.
I think it was the thumb guard. Well, it did its job.
That's exactly what it was.
So 0-2. Tanner winds and fires a curveball down low, 1-2. The day for Antoine Valerio is over. I thought he did a very solid job. I think the Crawdads would have appreciated it more if he kept some runners off base and made it a little easier, as the 1-2 is a curveball up high, 2-2. But 5 hits, a walk over 3 innings. That's not great, but only 2 runs against Healdsburg. You'll take it, especially with the jams he was in. Tanner's 2-2 is chopped foul over past third. And there's no Joey Gomes. I don't think he was tossed, but I wonder if he's taking a stand right now, or I should say taking a seat.
Might be cooling off somewhere.
Yeah. 2-2. to Carson Crawford, the 8th place hitter. Crawford swings and misses at a fastball up in the zone. Tanner got him to chase for the first out of the inning. Crawford now 0 for 2.
Love when Gabe Tanner has that fastball working for him and when he can climb the ladder, because he can ramp it up there at times and sit in the low 90s. But the thing for him is consistency, and he's just got to stick to that fastball. That fastball will get him to success, and he's got to stay confident with it. And one more thing about Valerio, a great start for him and the toughest team to play against in your first start in the CCL.
First pitch to Loudon Brooks is a fastball way outside, 1-0. Whoever is doing point streak here, we need to inform them. Point streak people, if you are listening to the Crawdads broadcast, which likely not the case, but it's Gabe Tanner on the mound. It's not Antoine Valerio anymore. Still has him in the game. Gave Gabe one of his strikeouts as the 1-0. Showing bunt is Brooks, and he bunts it off himself in the box, says home plate umpire Dean Potzi.
Interesting to see the bunt there. It's still early, and it is a one-run game, but Healdsburg is so prolific over the past couple of seasons at hitting for power.
1-1. Brooks takes called strike 2, a big sweeping slider that canvases the outside edge, and it's 1-2. 3-2 Crawdads, bottom of the 4th. Tanner ahead 1-2 to Brooks. He fires. Brooks hits a chopper to short. Calvillo on 2 hops has to field it and throw to first in time to get Brooks. Cam Calvillo making it look easy over there at shortstop.
You just wonder what things maybe would have looked like defensively had Cameron Calvillo taken the lion's share of play at shortstop this season for the Crawdads. It's really been tough out there on the left side of the infield, but really that shortstop spot for anybody who's played it, a lot of errors on the left side of the infield for the Crawdads this summer, and so far Calvillo has just been outstanding.
Did make an error yesterday, but it was a tough play. Now Jake Holcroft takes the first pitch down low with the slider, 1-0. Tanner, the big righty, just committed to Cal State East Bay, fires to Holcroft, and he swings over the top of a hard sinker changeup there, 1-1. Tanner trying to work a 1-2-3 inning. He deals. Holcroft takes up high and tight, 2-1. Valerio, the starter for the Crawdads, unable to work any 1-2-3 innings. Tanner trying to do the first of the game, the 2-1. Holcroft takes up high, 3-1.
Usually the first inning for Tanner, first inning of work is very effective and authoritative.
The 3-1. Holcroft takes right down the middle, a get-it-in slider, called strike 2.
And he's not too worried about getting hit around or banged up out there by the offense, but he's got to keep that going deeper.
The 3-2. Holcroft strikes out swinging. A nice start for Gabe Tanner. Gets 2 punches. We'll head to the top of the 5th. Crawdads up 3-2 here on the Crawdads Streaming Network.
71, July 28th.
Top of the 5th inning here in Healdsburg, California. The Crawdads and the Healdsburg Prune Packers. Francis McDonough still out on the mound. He'll be facing Ryan Ellis, Tyson Corio, and Ryan Brome. The top 3 in this Crawdads lineup. McDonough, long, lanky right-hander, has so much potential if he can ever figure out where he's throwing it. First pitch to Ellis, runs inside, 1-0.
Exactly right. If he could locate consistently, and last summer he really did. And this summer he's just been a little wild. You wonder if that's because he's tried to add a little too much velo.
1-0. Ellis swings through a good fastball, 1-1.
But then when he pumps it up like that, there's just nothing you can do about it. And Ryan Ellis, who's got great bat speed and very good hand-eye coordination, can't catch up.
3-2, the Crawdads lead on Brian Duroff's monster shot to left field. The 1-1. Ellis takes, called strike 2. This time a little high and a little on the inside, but Dean Potee said, yep.
That ball is coming in so hard there. That might be tough to call accurately.
Ellis 0 for 1 with a walk today. Has to fight here. Has been one of the best Crawdads at doing that this summer. The 1-2. He stays alive, fouls it back to the screen.
One of the best signs for the Crawdads this evening so far is each of the first 3 hitters in the lineup has been able to get on base. Corio got on with an error.
It's always a good sign. 2-2 to Ellis, who got on base by way of the walk last time. 1-2 to Ellis. McDonough sets far from his body, now fires, and Ellis checks his swing off his hands, and he is hurting.
That was
just a stinger.
That was a hard pitch, too, and already seen that happen to Duroff this season. Now it happens to Ryan Ellis, one of the athletic trainers for the Prune Packers, checking on him, and he hit the ground there. That hurt pretty bad, so we hope that Ryan Ellis is okay.
The Packers trainer immediately out talking to Ellis. And it's just a foul ball, which is the worst part for Ellie.
Did check the swing, so I wonder how much of the hand that actually caught. He took the glove off, so I'm pretty sure it got him somewhere square in the middle of the hand.
He's definitely hurting, but he's got to get back in the box, and we'll see if he stays in the game. For now, he does. It's 1-2. McDonough fires. Ellis flips one foul off to the left, and he's hurting.
The other issue is that was on the right hand, which is his throwing hand.
He is visibly in pain. This would be a brutal loss for the Crawdads at this point in the summer. 1-2. McDonough fires. Ellis takes called strike 3 on the inside. That's a tough call.
To literally add insult to injury.
So for Ellis, you have to hope that he can just shake it off, take a little time in the dugout. I'll keep an eye on him. Tyson Corio now the hitter. In the left-handed batter's box for the first time. He takes the first pitch, called strike 1. That inside part of the zone to lefties for Dean Potee has been there this inning after not so much in the first. 0-1 to Corio. McDonough fires. Corio hits it high and deep to right field. He flips the bat. That ball is gone. See ya. Tyson Corio, a laser beam to right field. It's 4-2 Crawdads.
Tyson Corio. Well, we always say, where does he look more comfortable?
The left side.
The left side, and what does he do? He just hits a tank out to right, and he knew it all the way, did a bat flip, and the Crawdads with a little bit of swagger right now.
It's a different look to the Crawdads team. A good sign for the Dads is that Tyson Corio went out to hit his helmets with everyone on the Dads, and Ellis put his right hand up. So we hope he's doing okay. You always hope for the best for any of the Dads, but Ryan Ellis, a fan favorite. First pitch to Brome, misses inside, 1-0. Man, Tyson Corio, 4 home runs now this summer. And, I mean, he didn't play the first week or so, week and a half, as the 1-0 Brome takes called strike 1. And since then, plus that he struggled mightily for the first week or so he played. Since then, you can make an argument that he has been one of the most consistent players on this team. The 1-1 to Brome, he takes down low, 2-1.
And one of the things that has really been constant, though, ever since he did start getting significant playing time was the defense. You always knew you were going to get good defense out of Tyson Corio, and the bat has finally caught up. He's just been so good for the Dads.
2-1. Brome fouls this one right back to the screen, 2-2. Tyson Corio, just the way he carries himself day to day, it's clear that he has done this before. He's a veteran. He loves the game of baseball. And he's out there every day, even with how good he is defensively, every day taking ground balls. The 2-2 to Brome. He takes down low, 3-2.
Oh, it's not just about getting warmed up out there when you're taking grounders. It's about getting yourself ready to play a game. That's what that is designed to do. It's not just tell some jokes and get a stretch in and kind of warm things up. You want to get engaged.
3-2, Brome strikes out swinging a fastball. First time in a while we've seen 2 strikeouts in the same game from Brome, and now there's 2 down.
It's a tough fastball to catch up to. McDonough run it up there real fast, gets on you in a hurry, and even good hitters like Ellis and Brome, it's just very hard to deal with. Now, here is really the battle that I enjoy watching is McDonough against Schmidt, because Schmidt is not a man that you want to leave a high fastball over the heart of the plate to.
First pitch is called strike 1. I mentioned that it feels like it's been a while since we've seen Ryan Brome strike out multiple times in a game. I just want your guess of when the last time was.
It was definitely before he was sick, I would say.
0-1 to Schmidt. He takes in the dirt, spiked fastball, 1-1.
I'm going to say against Santa Barbara.
The last time Ryan Brome struck out multiple times in the game, we'll look back about a month, and then we'll look back about another month. The first game of the summer.
Oh, my goodness.
That's unbelievable.
That's not supposed to happen in the game of baseball.
I keep looking at these to see if it's true. It's hard to believe it. 1-1 to Schmidt. Is swung on and missed, a heavy fastball on the inside.
That's remarkable. If that is accurate, and I believe you, Austin, that is incredible.
I mean, he has over 2 times the multi-walk games than he does the multi-strikeout games. 1-2 to Schmidt. McDonough fires. Schmidt takes in the dirt, ball 2. To Ryan's parents, I know you always listen, and Ryan's dad. We talked for what felt like hours about Ryan's stats and how amazing they are. There's another one to add to your book of tricks. I mean, that's unbelievable.
It is. It is shocking.
Deuces are wild to Coleman Schmidt with the Crawdads leading 4-2.
It's either great hitting by Brome or great scorekeeping.
Schmidt lines it right to shortstop. Brooks fields the soft liner, and the Crawdads are sent down. But Tyson Corio, home run number 4, puts the Dads up 4-2. Bottom 5 when we come back here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. So the two of us are still in awe about that last Ryan Brome stat.
It just doesn't. That's just not supposed to happen.
Right.
And Brome is incredible. His eye has been just on point all season, but all the way back at the start of the season,
Neither of us have seen Ryan Brome strike out multiple times in a game because we weren't there for game one.
We were not there for game one. So it really hasn't happened if we didn't see it.
Right. First pitch to Zach Vuletic is swung on and missed. A good sinker, 0-1. With Gabe Tanner on the mound, it's always the first inning of work looks good usually, but it's what can he do the second inning. And good to start out with a strike to Vuletic.
And recently against Healdsburg, first inning of work was solid.
The 0-1. Vuletic takes strike 2 on the outside, 0-2.
Then the game got away from Gabe and the Crawdads ultimately.
Tanner up 0-2. He doesn't want to let anything too good to Vuletic. He deals, and Vuletic ropes this one, but foul off the netting past third base.
And what Tanner has to really keep in the front of his mind is, okay, that was a loud foul ball. Vuletic is a good hitter. I'm going to go right after him. I got a good fastball.
Vuletic, however, is 2 for 2, but I agree with you. It was a foul. It was loud, but it was just a foul ball. The 0-2. Curveball! Oh, just a little tight, maybe a little high. I thought he set Vuletic down.
Definitely going to have Vuletic guessing now on what's coming next because Tanner can bust out a big breaking ball, can go low away, or he can go high in the zone with a fastball.
The 1-2. Curveball, tapped foul. Count stays 1-2.
Trying to go low and outside there. You saw where Tajero set up. And if Vuletic didn't think that it was going to be back-to-back breaking balls, those last couple of pitches, he's probably thinking fastball. There is a slight chance that we might see Tanner pull the string on him.
1-2. Tanner to Vuletic with the Crawdads leading 4-2. He fires. Chopper high to third base. Ellis has to wait under it like a pop-up. His long throw to first is just late. Vuletic beats it out. If anything, though, that is a good sign to see from the Crawdads as Ellis is able to make that throw.
It's a close play over there at first. I think Ellis, I don't know if he got enough on it. It was very close, but tie goes to the runner.
That ball was hit so high off the first bounce. I mean, it really was like a pop-up. And it'll bring up Joe Kramer. And this is where Tanner has struggled with the things he can't control going out of his way. We'll see if Vuletic runs. He fakes running, but the first pitch to Kramer is down low, ball 1. With Tanner, it's okay, I gave up a hit. It's a hit in the scorebook, but it's not a hit. That should not be a hit. It's not a hard hit ball.
Yeah, he didn't get tattooed on that.
1-0 now to Kramer, who can turn this game around in an instant. Tanner fires, Vuletic runs. Kramer hits a high chop again to Calvillo at short. He double clutches, takes his time to throw to first to retire Kramer, not hustling down the line. Vuletic, who was running on the pitch, moves up to second.
They were going to stay out of the double play there, so it's good for Healdsburg, and it's great for Gabe Tanner to come back after having a ball that was hit similarly over to Ellis, not end up in an out.
Here's the big, powerful Braden Runyon hitting from the right side, wearing number 15 is Braden Runyon. A quick visit between Zach Tajero and Gabe Tanner. Runyon so far today is 1 for 2. He hit a single hard to left field with Vuletic on second and 1 out. Tanner delivers, and it runs in and hits Runyon on the back.
Oh, and Runyon walked up and wanted to give a stare down over to Gabe, and Tanner turned his back to him, not giving Runyon the opportunity. And then Runyon turns back and maybe says one extra thing to Gabe Tanner. That didn't feel good, and that was a hard pitch from Tanner, and it hit Runyon square.
We never know what goes on between these two teams when they're on the field, but you do know there is not a lot of love lost between these two.
There's not, and tonight our field microphone is nowhere near the fencing, and that might actually be a good thing.
Oh, yeah. Now, Sam Brown, who's 0 for 2 today. Tanner looking to get a double play ball to get him out of the inning. First pitch to Brown is a big curveball that's left up high. 1-0. In that so important Lincoln and Solano game, Lincoln is now up 6-0 over Solano. So Solano had a bases loaded opportunity, but were unable to score. That's turned around to bite them. The 1-0 to Brown. He chops it foul over to the first base coaching box. Nice play by first base coach over there.
Scoreboard watching is definitely going to be a factor down here, down the stretch for the Crawdads. But ultimately, you and I both agree about this. The scoreboard they need to be most concerned with is the one in the ballpark that they're playing at.
I think they do a good job at that. I think they do a better job at that than I do. But that's not hard.
Better than me, too.
All ones on the scoreboard to Brown. Tanner fires a fastball that is up high and outside, 2-1. 4-2, the Crawdads lead here in the bottom of the 5th inning. But the Packers are threatening with Vuletic on second and Runyon on first. The hitter, Sam Brown, who has so much talent from the left side. Tanner takes a deep breath and delivers. Brown chops it to second, could be 2. Corey on a big hop, gets Runyon at second for 1. Throw to first in time. A 4-6-3 double play. The Crawdads get out of the inning unscathed. Top 6, 4-2 the score when we come back here on the Crawdads streaming network. Top of the 6th inning here in Healdsburg, California at Recreation Park. A beautiful place to watch a baseball game. If you're not too far from the Healdsburg area, I would strongly implore you to come watch a game here. It is just a phenomenal environment. Crawdads lead it 4-2 as Kavaris Tears steps in the left-handed batter's box to face the big righty Francis McDonough. It'll be Tears, Duroff, and Donnelly. Tears 0 for 1 today with a strikeout and a walk. His last at bat, a very key walk. Worked a couple pitches foul on 3-2 that led to Brian Duroff's 3-run homer. First pitch, way up high, 1-0. Kavaris Tears, big left-handed batter out of the University of Tennessee, facing McDonough. The 1-0. Tears takes called strike 1 on the inside. Schuessler was setting on the outside, pulled his glove back, but was able to still stick it enough to get the call. 1-1. McDonough has so much funk to him that, like I mentioned earlier, if he's able to locate any of his pitches, he will be just deadly. Count even at 1 to Kavaris Tears with no outs. McDonough sets far from his body, now fires, and Tears swings through a heavy fastball, 1-2. Tears was in a similar situation in his last at-bat and was able to fight some pitches off against a tough lefty, Caden Noah. He traditionally has much more success against right-handed arms. We'll see what he can do here on 1-2. McDonough delivers. Tears chops it. First base side, foul.
And KT doesn't necessarily need to swing it that hard, although that's not really a big part of his game, taking some steam off the swing. But McDonough will supply the velocity for you.
1-2 to Tears. He was able to stay alive there. He's done such a good job of doing that lately. He has been a very different hitter of late. 1-2. Tears fouls it back again. Count stays 1-2.
Just a different Kavares Tears over the past about week and a half.
For someone who's looking to come into a powerhouse program in Tennessee and get some playing time, this is huge for him to be able to really ramp up his quality of play, his quality of at-bats this late in the season. And even if he's not producing, even if you're not seeing the hits, I think anyone who's watching these games, if you're a Tennessee coach and you're seeing, oh, KT may have gone 0 for 3 today, may have gone 1 for 4, but he battled. He saw the pitch he wanted to see. He hit the ball hard. And with KT, he was getting so results-driven and not focusing on – or he was getting so outcome-driven and not results-driven. And that's where he went wrong when he was struggling. The 1-2. Tears stays alive again. That is not a pitch he would have hit about 2 weeks ago.
It's not a pitch that he's fighting off and not one that he's going to stay alive with and then see another one. I mean, he was like a blind dog in a meat house at times with some of those wild swings and misses he would have. And he was just, like you said, Austin, he wanted a certain outcome, and he was hunting up there, and now a lot calmer.
The 1-2. Tears takes down low with the changeup, 2-2. Lincoln now leads Solano 7-0, so we'll ease off that game a little bit, as in Lincoln, no offense to Solano, who's a good team, but it's not likely they'll come back. The 2-2. Tears stays alive, fouls it back to the screen.
It's just so hard for whoever goes up to Lincoln to win there. It's just very tough. It's a great atmosphere, and Lincoln loves it. The Potters love it. The Potters fans always show up. It's a great time there. But it is a tough place to win, especially with the cowbells going and all the noise.
2-2 to Tears, who's fighting again. McDonough delivers. Tears chops it to first. Over is Brown, and it's through the 3-4 hole into right field. 2 straight tremendous at-bats for Kavares Tears.
That's Kavares Tears battling. That is him just battling and fighting and clawing tooth and nail up there at the plate, saying, I am not going to strike out. You're going to have to get me out the old-fashioned way. You're going to have to throw me out, or you're going to have to make a diving play somewhere, or I'm going to hit something hard. And that time just able to find a little bit of open room there on the right side. And that is not an at-bat that Kavares Tears has 3 weeks ago.
Absolutely not. Here's Brian Duroff, who changed the game in one swing with a towering 3-run homer to left his last at-bat. First pitch, Duroff hits it high and deep to center field, but so much room out there that Holcroft is able to settle under it and make the catch. At Monte Vista, there's a chance that one's gone as well.
I almost started giving it that home run look where you're starting to see, is that going to leave? And then you realize, well, the Ivy's about another 30 feet further out to center.
He gave it a run.
Oh, he did.
Swinging it well.
Put some very good swings on the ball, has Brian so far, but it's just, it's like hitting at the Polo Grounds almost here.
That is a very, very good analogy. It is almost Polo Grounds-ish here.
With the fences on the corners so close.
Here's Joey Donnelly with one out and Tears on first. McDonough fires. Donnelly fouls it off back past the Crawdads bunker. 0-1.
The bunker.
I will say, saying bunker makes me miss Oregon softball. They're one of their stars, Ali Bunker, the second baseman. Excited to be back at the Jane next year.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
But for now, Crawdads baseball, that's what's on the front of my mind, I promise. The 0-1 to Donnelly. He takes inside. 1-1.
And Donnelly, I think after seeing Kavares Tears fight up there at the plate, that's got to give him a little confidence. And I can do the same thing. And Manager Cummings always talks about how contagious everything is.
The 1-1. Donnelly takes down low, 2-1.
And approaches can be contagious. Patience can really catch on, and controlled aggression.
The approaches these last 2 days for the Crawdads have been so different than they were when they were losing and losing poorly. 2-1 to Donnelly. McDonough delivers. Tears runs. Donnelly takes down low. The throw to second is not in time. Brooks can't replicate the play that he made on Tyson Corey over there, and Tears is in safely.
Boy, even on a pitch down in the dirt, you can see the hand cannon that Kimball Schuessler possesses with that right arm of his, and he gunned that over in a hurry. And that was a tough play to make for Schuessler, having to pick that off the dirt and then pop and throw. But Kavares Tears, he just picked a great pitch to run on, and runner in scoring position. I love what the Crawdads are doing tonight.
I would like to mention that Joey Donnelly in yesterday's game, 3 for 5, had more hits in that one game than he did in about a month of at-bats.
Joey Donnelly had a heck of a game yesterday, and he did strike out a couple of times, but able to be very good at the plate.
3-1, and he takes down low ball 4. Another very good at-bat. A lot of walks for the Crawdads today. That is number 5 for them here in the top of the 6th inning. When the Crawdads are walking, good things are happening.
And good things are happening when they are getting on base and forcing the pitcher to throw a lot of balls at them. And it's great for a guy like Zach Tejero, who's just going to try to put the ball in play and make something happen.
Tejero having a very nice game. He's 1 for 1 with a walk. Now facing McDonough for the first time. First pitch in the dirt, gets by Schuessler. Both runners advance. Schuessler can't find it, but he gets to it in time for Tears, who is parading around third base to have to stop there. 1-0, runners on second and third now. 4-2, the Crawdads lead in the top of the 6th inning.
Momentarily, I think Kimball Schuessler, the catcher, thought it was at his feet and lost track of it, like you said. And luckily for Schuessler, the backstop's pretty close here, and Tears has to stay parked over at third.
1-0 to Tejero now with an opportunity to do some damage with 2 in scoring position and less than 2 outs. He flips this one foul back behind the plate. 1-1.
This is a great situation for Tejero coming in with a couple of runners on. Now they're both in scoring position. And with how good he is at just making contact, see if he can find a gap here.
Donnelly stands off second. Tears equally so off third. The 1-1 to Tejero. He takes called strike 2. A slider that caught the inside.
Awful 2 for 12 streak in 14 games the Crawdads weren't able to convert with.
The 1-2, we'll see what Tejero can do. He grounds this one through the right side, a base hit. Tears comes home to score. Donnelly right behind him. The throw to the plate is not in time. Zach Tejero, 2-run single. He's 2 for 2. The Crawdads lead by 4.
It's a good piece of hitting from Tejero, and that was kind of what I was envisioning during that at-bat. He had plenty of room to play with on the right side, and he's just going to put the ball in play and force Vuletic to try to make a stellar diving stop, but it was going to score a run no matter what. And instead, the Crawdads don't just get 1, they get 2.
Huge knock from the catcher, who's having a very nice game. It'll bring up Cam Calvillo, the shortstop. Calvillo 0 for 2 today, but hit a rocket to left his last time up, just foul. Pickoff move, back in safely is Tejero at first base. 6-2, the Crawdads lead here in Healdsburg. First pitch to Calvillo. Up high, gets by Schuessler. Tejero's going to run. The throw's going to come to second. It is in time. What a play by Kimball Schuessler.
Schuessler showing everybody right there that he really is the best defensive catcher in the CCL by a long shot. I mean, he is so good. He's got a great arm, and that play is, even with Tejero's limited speed over at first trying to get to second, the fact that he's able to go behind, get back there, and make that throw.
1-0, Calvillo takes down low, 2-0.
Those are just not plays that you see a lot of catchers make, and the audacity, some might say, to make that throw over to second, but Kimball Schuessler knows that he's strong enough to put a good, accurate throw out there.
2-0 to Calvillo. McDonough deals. Calvillo swings through a fastball, 2-1.
Don't mind that swing from Calvillo. Knew he was going to see a fastball there and decided to let it rip.
2-1 to Calvillo. 6-2, the Crawdads lead. They've continued to add on. The 2-1. Calvillo takes up high, ball 3.
Can be nerve-wracking at times up there as a batter against McDonough because you know he is a little wild.
And he misses inside, ball 4. Calvillo takes a walk.
Yet another walk that the Crawdads have been able to get out of this pitching staff from Healdsburg tonight. And Tejero was taken out at second, but he's still probably getting loved up on in the dugout right now by the rest of the Crawdads.
Runner on first for Ryan Ellis. We'll see what he can do with the bat after being hit in the hand his last time. 6-2 the score. McDonough fires, and Ellis takes up high, ball 1.
Good to see Ellis not only play defensively the last half inning, but also come up for another at-bat after a bit of a scare. Took a ball off the bottom hand, the right hand that is.
The 1-0. Pickoff move, Calvillo just in safely. Brown doesn't think so.
What a great move from McDonough, who
He started to head off the field.
in frustration walked. He was heading off the field to the dugout for the Prune Packers. He thought he had Calvillo all the way.
1-0 to the leadoff hitter Ryan Ellis with Tyson Corio waiting on deck.
And Calvillo not shy out there. He's got a decent lead.
The 1-0. Ellis takes outside, ball 2. It's difficult to see the bullpen if there even is one here at Rec Park, but I can't see anyone warming up, so this likely McDonough's inning to complete.
A little bit of meandering down there, but you're right. No one's really getting hot.
2-0 to Ellis. He takes way up high, ball 3.
And if McDonough's going to keep missing like this, the Crawdads, tonight at least, are just going to say, okay, we'll take a walk. You could walk 4 straight batters if you want.
3-0 to Ryan Ellis with Tyson Corio waiting on deck. McDonough deals right down the middle. Ellis was taken all the way. He smiles.
He does.
He knows that he's not swinging there.
He knows if that's a situation where he has to swing. He could
That
have done.
ball's about 400 feet. 3-1 to Ellie. McDonough. Big swing and a miss from Ryan Ellis. He stumbles out of the box.
He's definitely having fun right now.
Playing with that right wrist a little bit. Readjusts the batting gloves. 3-2. We'll see Calvillo on the move here. He has to make sure that McDonough does come to the plate, however. The 3-2 to Ellis is popped up. Center field. Holcroft calls for it. Makes the catch for the 3rd out. But 2 runs come home to score. Zach Tejero, a huge 2-run knock, makes it 6-2. Bottom 6 when we come back here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Bottom of the 6th inning here in Healdsburg, California. The Crawdads leading 6-2. They have been very strong today. We'll see if Gabe Tanner can hold Healdsburg off the board for a 3rd straight inning. He has looked solid through 2 without giving up a run.
Done a good job of avoiding the big inning so far, and I think this would just be so great for Gabe, who's on his way to Cal State East Bay to get through 3 innings of work.
First pitch to the big righty Sundstrom is called strike 1 on a big sweeping breaking ball. 6-2, the Crawdads are leading. Austin Oda, Alondise back on the call for you Crawdads fans as the 0-1 is down low, 1-1. Alon will take you through the rest of the ride of this game from innings 7 through 9 and all outs that come across us.
Had some excitement over the past 2 days. Middle innings have just had a lot of offense for the Crawdads lately.
1-1 to Sundstrom, the league leader in homers, and he chops it to third base. Ellis up with it, throws on the run to first. Doroff can't pick it. It's in the dirt. Sundstrom hustling down the line, makes it there.
That's a tough stretch to make for Doroff, but a play that you would expect a first baseman at this level to make, and Doroff not able to come up with it. And you feel for Gabe Tanner in that situation because it seems like almost every time he's been out there, he's had some sort of instance of error of some sort or defensive lapse happen when he's out there on the mound.
The guy I feel for is Ryan Ellis. He should not get an error on that play. He's crashing in hard from third base. As soon as he picks it up, has to fire on the run to first. And, you know, with his body, he's not the biggest dude. He's 5'7", and he gets as much on that as he can as Tanner throws it away. Tanner threw to first to try to get the sleeping Sundstrom, but also sleeping was Brian Doroff over at first.
Couple of tough plays there for Doroff, and now Sundstrom in scoring position, and Crawdads given a little bit of life here to Healdsburg. I mean, game's not out of reach for them.
Oh, never is. As I mentioned earlier, Healdsburg does so well at taking advantage of mistakes. 2 straight errors for the Dads, have a runner on second, and Kimball Schussler, the hitter. First pitch, Schussler, and it runs in and hits him. Second batter, Tanner's hit. Runners on first and second, no outs.
And this is where Tanner has to just bite down and try to get through this. He's going to get some words of encouragement from manager Brant Cummings, which I always think manager Cummings is so good at this, settling guys down. And he's not out there to berate anybody or anything like that. He's just, hey, you good? And that's usually what the conversation is. And these guys are gamers. Gabe Tanner's going to say he's good to go. He's got to prove it.
Against a pinch hitter, Sam Hunt, the former Crawdad, hitting 297. Yet to hit a home run, but does have 4 batted in. One of those coming against the Crawdads, the game-tying RBI the other day in Danville. Hunt, left-handed batter, wears the number 18. Tanner has Sundstrom on second and Schussler on first. Sam Hunt, the left-handed speed hitter. First pitch, Hunt takes strike 1 at the top of the zone, 0-1.
Good job getting ahead there by Gabe Tanner.
My question is, why are the Healdsburg fans upset with that call? That was right there.
It's at the belt. They love their prune Packers.
The 0-1, Tanner checks on second and fires in the dirt and inside, brushes Hunt back, 1-1. Matchup of former teammates. There's 3 Crawdads, three of last year's Crawdads right here in a line. It's Tanner, Hunt, and Tajero.
All right there.
I'm sure you're feeling some flashbacks. You were with the team last year. 1-1 to Hunt. Right on the outside with a breaker, 1-2.
It's good to see this competition happen and Gabe Tanner try to outwit Sam Hunt after sharing a clubhouse with him all last summer.
Was there a clubhouse last summer?
The proverbial clubhouse last summer.
1-2. Flipped into left field. Brome hustling towards the line. Will he be able to catch it? He will. Nice play as he fought his way towards the left field line for the first out.
Forget sometimes how much ground that Ryan Brome can cover out there because we haven't really been able to see him too much in left field, especially during his illness with the sinus infection. But It's like he is just right back at it now. And he made a great run, made a catch just in fair territory.
And that's, correct me if I'm wrong, Sam Hunt from Texas Tech to Ryan Brome from Texas Tech. All the connections here. It's a small world.
Colson Abel somewhere around here.
And here's Loudon Brooks, who, oh yeah, he's from Texas Tech. Runners on first and second still, 1 out. Tanner delivers. Brooks chops it to short, could be 2. Calvillo up with it to second for 1. Corio will not throw to first smartly as Brooks was hustling down the line, but they do get the out at second, and there's 2 down.
It's a good job by Brooks to bust it out of the box and make sure that they stay out of the double play. Just trying to keep this half inning going as long as they can, because they at least want to get 1 back after surrendering 2 in the top of the 6th.
Tanner trying for what would be his 3rd straight shutdown inning. An inning where your team scores in the prior half and you come back and shut it down. As many strong innings as Tanner could give the Crawdads, they will take. Runners on first and third, 2 outs. Jake Holcroft, the hitter, who's 1 for 3, who's scored a run today. First pitch, Holcroft fouls it back. Right on the fastball, 0-1.
Mentioned it at the start of Tanner's appearance here this evening that he had to trust in that fastball, and it really looks like he has. So a great indication from Gabe Tanner that he's feeling comfortable.
The 0-1 pitch is a big curveball called strike 2.
And that's when you can start playing with those other pitches as well, when you know the fastball's there for you, and you can lean on it when you need it, then you can go to some of the secondary stuff. Makes your job a whole heck of a lot easier as a pitcher.
6-2, the Crawdads lead, 2 strikes on Holcroft. Tanner from the stretch, the pitch. Holcroft stays alive. A half-hearted swing, punches it foul towards the left. 0-2.
Tanner shook Tajero off there on that pitch. Instead went with something with some velocity on it, and wonder if we'll see a breaker here.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Tanner huffs and deals. Strike 3 swinging. Tanner gets him to chase on a fastball. 3 strikeouts, 3 shutout, shutdown innings for Gabe Tanner. Works around 2 errors. We'll head top 7. Alon to say back on the play-by-play here on the Crawdads Streaming Network.
Top of the 7th inning here in Healdsburg, California. The Crawdads on the road tonight up north, and they're in front 6-2 against the Prune Packers. Gabe Tanner, a great job out of the bullpen in relief of the starter, Antoine Valerio, who made his first start tonight for the Dads. So Tanner able to pitch 3 scoreless frames. And there's a new pitcher now on the mound for the Prune Packers. Third man out there on the bump for them. It is Christian Becerra. So McDonough is done. Noah, the starter. Then it went to McDonough. Now Becerra. Becerra is 2-0 with a 5.71 ERA. This is his 9th appearance. Does have a save. 17 1/3 innings pitched. 37 strikeouts. That's a big number there. Almost 2-1 in terms of, well, actually, It is 2-1, just a bit over in terms of strikeouts to innings pitched. And then just 5 walks and 19 hits given up. Last time the Crawdads saw Becerra was on July 24th. That was that comeback win for the Healdsburg Prune Packers, the 9-8 victory in extra innings. Becerra actually got the win. Pitched 2 innings, just gave up 1 run. Faced 11, struck out 5. So Corio going to lead things off. It's 2, 3, and 4 for the Crawdads. Corio, Brome, and Schmidt. Now the righty Becerra from UC Berkeley getting ready to throw his first pitch in relief this evening. Gets you the final line on McDonough after the pitch from Becerra. And the first pitch from Becerra is a good fastball on the outside corner for strike number 1 to Tyson Corio. Count 0-1. Final line for Francis McDonough. 2 1/3 innings pitched. Gave up 3 hits. 3 runs all earned. Walked 2, struck out 2, faced 11. Kicks the leg and deals, misses inside, does Becerra. The count 1-1. Today's starter for the Prune Packers, Caden Noah, was not able to make it through 4 innings, just 3 2/3, 2 hits, 3 runs, all earned, walked 4, struck out 6, faced 17. Right now, the Crawdads lead by 4. It is 6-2. The 1-1 pitch to Corio. This misses low, and the count 2-1. Corio showing a good eye so far in this at-bat.
With all of the dominant Cal Berkeley arms we've seen out of the bullpen, you have to assume that team's going to be a little better next year. The Bears.
Proctor.
Oh, my God, he was good.
Becerra, they've been outstanding, especially against the Crawdads. This pitch, is that fouled back? It's a check swing no matter what, and I think Corio did break the plane, so whether it was tipped or not, the count 2-2.
Becerra's overall numbers haven't been great, but the strikeouts, I mean, that'll play anywhere.
37 strikeouts to under 18 innings pitched. Shakes Schussler off, does Becerra. And Corio has already gone yard tonight. Hits this high and deep into center. Running back is Holcroft. That's going to land in the ivy. Holcroft putting his hands up. Now he digs it out. And digging for third is Tyson Corio. The throw is not going to be on time. And it's a triple for Tyson Corio.
Where did this power come from? Who is this?
Tyson Corio showing off the grown man's strength tonight. And that was hit to the deepest part of the ballpark. And for a moment, it looked like the ball was lost in the ivy out there in center field. Holcroft did put his arms up to signal a ground rule double, but was eventually able to hunt that ball down. And good on Corio for not settling for 2 and just hustling all the way to third. So the Crawdads with a lead-off triple. They're already up 6-2 here in the top of the 7th. Oh, a try-bagger for Corio. Big swing and a miss there. Count 0-1 to Ryan Brome. Brome is 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. Has walked once, walked in the 4th, and came around to score. But Corio having a great night. Home run in the 5th. Now a triple here in the top of the 7th. The 0-1 pitch to Brome, and he doesn't pull the trigger here. Misses low, and the count 1-1.
A very rejuvenated Crawdads offense today. They just look healthy. I think Ryan Brome's addition to the lineup, even when he's not producing, it's just it deepens the lineup.
1-1 pitch to Brome, and this gets over everything and over the glove of Schussler, and the ball ends up all the way near the dugout of the Crawdads. Electing not to run there from third was Corio, and just don't think that he wanted to test it. Also could be a case of maybe trying to get some air out there over at third. He wasn't ready to run yet.
I think if he didn't run on the first snap instinct, then he's not going to make it. And I think kind of what he's thinking there is Ryan Brome is likely to put the ball in play, and he should score if Brome does that.
Brome,
you don't want to give up that out.
Brome tips that back, looking to put the ball in play here and get Corio on home. The 2-1 pitch to Brome, and Brome takes a big wild swing at a pitch that was low and outside, and that is not what you typically see out of Ryan Brome. The count 2-2 now. Becerra has been very good against the Crawdads. Crawdads saw him on the 24th, so they are familiar with Mr. Becerra. 2-2 pitch to Brome, and Brome does make contact, hits this over to the first baseman, Brown. Brown will take it to first himself, but Corio comes home to score. It is now 7-2, so the Crawdads need to continue adding on to this lead because they know that even with it being 7-2, Healdsburg can come back.
Maybe especially with it being 7-2.
So Brome with an RBI there. There's one away. It is 7-2, and Coleman Schmidt steps up to the batter's box, and that was the score, 7-2 in the later innings when Healdsburg decided to start mounting the comeback. First pitch to Schmidt. This misses low. The count 1-0. Coleman Schmidt struck out in the second and lined out in the fourth over to the shortstop Brooks, who made just an outstanding play on the ball, and then lined out once again to Brooks in the fifth.
Schmidt, the only Crawdad that hasn't reached base today.
1-0 pitch to Schmidt, and that's on the inner portion of home plate for a strike. The count 1-1. Just one out. It is 7-2 Crawdads. Schmidt, slightly open stance in the box. The 1-1 pitch from the righty Becerra. He's able to go with a breaking ball on the outside and get Schmidt to swing over it. Count 1-2. Crawdads' offense has been great so far tonight, but they all know that they need to keep things moving here. 1-2 to Schmidt. Schmidt takes. This misses outside. The count 2-2. Coleman Schmidt, as you mentioned, Austin, has not reached base yet tonight, but it's not for lack of effort. He's hit some balls pretty hard. Loudon Brooks has been the goalie over there on the left side. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. The pitch to Schmidt. Schmidt swings at this, but that's out of play. Count stays 2-2. Crawdads were finally able to get some good vibes going yesterday, winning a game in extra innings against the Stompers. 2-2 pitch to Schmidt, and he chops this over to Brooks. And no, the third baseman, Kramer, going to run in front of the shortstop Brooks and take that ball away from him and put Coleman Schmidt out over at first. It looked like that was going to be the third time that Schmidt had hit a ball over to Brooks, but Joe Kramer said, no, not so quick, my friend. I'm going to take that one.
Well, that is always the third baseman's ball. When I was about 10 years old, back when I was still agile enough to play shortstop, I was playing shortstop. My good friend Xander Francoeur was over at third base, and I remember there was one play just like that where he ranged over, and my dad, who was the coach, told me that's always the third baseman's ball. The momentum will always take the third baseman to first base.
2 away. 7-2 Crawdads. Here's Kavares Tears, and the first pitch misses high. The count 1-0. Kavares Tears has had some of his best at-bats of the season so far this evening. A walk in the fourth. He did strike out in the second, but then in the sixth, able to hit a ball on the right side for a single and then stole second. This pitch misses high. The count 2-0. The approach has been just wonderful from Kavares Tears, the young man out of Tennessee. Now taking a little bit of time is Tears outside the box. He's back in. Lefty Tears against the righty Becerra. The 6-1 righty fires, and the 2-0, that's in there for a strike, and the count 2-1. Crawdads not getting the help they wanted out of Solano tonight. However, they are helping themselves stay in this playoff push. 2-1 pitch, off speed, down the middle, for a strike, the count 2-2. Trying to punch a ticket to San Luis Obispo are the Crawdads. Healdsburg already guaranteed to go. 2-2 pitch. Tears just stays alive. Makes minimal contact. Count stays 2-2. These are the at-bats that we have seen Kavares put together tonight that KT really just wasn't having for most of the season, but better late than never, and really some good growth out of Kavares Tears, especially in the batter's box. He's had to play DH quite a bit as well over the second half of the season. So it's tough when you're not out there and all you do is hit. 2-2 pitch to Tears. This misses high. The count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
I mean, I feel like we can't talk enough about how solid Kavares Tears has been at the plate today.
It's been just a resurgence for him. And the payoff pitch, Tears breaks his bat. Having to dodge the bat is Becerra, but the ball hit over to the second baseman, Vuletic, who flips on to first in time. Having to dodge some shrapnel out there was Christian Becerra. Had to show off the hops. That's out number 3. The Crawdads do get a run. It is now 7-2. Tyson Corio had a triple, and he was driven in by Ryan Brome. So 7-2 Crawdads here in Healdsburg. It's stretch time. Bottom of the 7th coming up after the break here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Bottom of the 7th inning, the Crawdads lead 7-2 here in Healdsburg, California. Crawdads needed a good performance. So far, they've gotten one. Not just offensively, but the defense has been very good. Just one error so far. That was charged to Ryan Ellis on a tough play, as some of the folks are starting to pack up here in Healdsburg, but we're going to stay here for the entire game. It is 7-2 Crawdads. Gabe Tanner still on the mound for the Crawdads. So far, he's pitched 3 innings, just given up 1 hit. No runs, has struck out 3, faced 12. Oh, it's going to be 2, 3, and 4 for the Prune Packers, who are down by 5. Zach Vuletic, Joe Kramer, and Braden Runyon. Tanner has already gone 3 innings while avoiding the big inning. Can he go a 4th? He's thrown 3 innings of shutdown ball for the Crawdads. Big reason why they are ahead. First pitch here to Vuletic, and that misses low. The count 1-0. Vuletic had a hit in the first, a double in the third, and another single in the 5th. He's come around to score once. He is 3 for 3. 1-0 pitch to Vuletic. This is spiked, and the count 2-0.
And if I'm manager Brant Cummings or pitching coach Jack Delmore, I'm starting to warm someone up right now for the Crawdads. Even before those 2 balls by Gabe, he struggles in that 4th, 5th inning range.
2-0 pitch from Tanner. This is popped up high on the right side, but that'll drift back and then out of play. The count 2-1. And so the leash, you think, maybe a little shorter.
Especially after he, had that meltdown against the Packers the other day. It's the same offense. And the Crawdads, not a rested bullpen necessarily, but they've got a couple arms. They have Devitt and Loosely.
2-1, and this cannot be nabbed by Tejero. Wonder if that impacted the call, but the pitch did look high. The count 3-1.
They also have Colson Abel if they need to get some lefties out, or potentially Ben Clark could come out of the bullpen. But Gabe has been great. I think they want to quit while they're ahead with Gabe.
See if Tanner can get through this. The 3-1 pitch, and this is hit high and deep to left field. Is that going to leave the park? It will not. It is caught on the track by the left fielder, Ryan Brome. That looked like it had the home run distance all the way, but Brome able to track it down in front of Old Glory out there in left field and had to back up about as far as he could, and there's one out, a very loud out. It is still 7-2 Crawdads.
And Zach Vulitic just keeps looking out there like, did that really not get out? Like, really? Are you sure?
He wanted to will it out of the ballpark, and for a moment it looked like that was going to leave. Brome tracked it all the way, and there's one out now. Pitch misses low and outside. So Vulitic's perfect day is finally broken up by Gabe Tanner on allowed out number 1. Joe Kramer has been good today. A single, was hit by a pitch in the third. Had his single in the first. Grounded out 6-3 in his last at-bat. A couple of straight misfires from Gabe Tanner. And second straight time this half inning that he has fallen behind. Count 2-0. Right now, it doesn't look like anybody's even stretching for the Crawdads in the bullpen. There is a little bit of action for the Prune Packers. The 2-0 pitch. This is foul-tipped, and oh boy, that caught a piece of home plate umpire Dean Pody. Takes the mask off.
Good old Dean back there. He's seen a fair share of those balls off his mask. Stands right back up. I'm okay.
Dean's a tough customer.
They call that a McKenna over in Danville.
They do call that a McKenna. McKenna, the master at just wearing one and going, all right, next pitch. So a strike for Gabe Tanner, able to get on the board there. The count 2-1, one away. Tanner trying to get through another inning of work. The 2-1 pitch. This is hit hard on the left side, and that finds a hole. Ends up in left field. And that might be the start of the end of Gabe Tanner's evening. And Jack Delmore, the pitching coach, now starting to walk around, and he might be getting ready to signal for an arm in the bullpen to get ready. There's a runner on first. Kramer now with his second single of the day. He's 2 for 3.
The thing about that is it's just two very hard hit balls in a row.
And it's not so much the result as it is the contact that's being given up right now by Tanner on the mound. And here's Braden Runyon and a pickoff over to first. But, boy, we've had some close calls over at first base on some pickoff moves now from both teams. Braden Runyon hit into a double play in the first. A big double play to wipe out some runners. Pitch misses low, and the count 1-0.
The thing that Tanner's doing in this inning is he's falling behind in counts, and then he has to come in usually with a fastball because that's what he's gone to trust at this point in the game. And the Packers, they're a good hitting team. They're just sitting on that.
1-0 pitch to Runyon, and a big wild swing there. Missed everything, and the ball hit the backstop. Runyon was gearing up for a fastball, and Gabe Tanner put a little extra on it. Count even at 1-1. Runyon in the third had an RBI single and was hit by a pitch in the fifth by Gabe Tanner. 1-1, and instead it's going to be a pickoff over to first. A lot of work over there for Duroff tonight at first base. Had a few get by him. The 1-1 to Runyon, and that sounds like a broken bat, and Tanner will pick it up off the mound and just over to first. Tanner had a little bit of trouble picking it up initially with the bare hand, but was able to recover and get the out at first base.
Well, Austin Ehrlicher is going to hit, and the reason you saw me confused, I thought he was signed. I know he was drafted. I assumed he had signed.
I did too. So I'm surprised he's back. Maybe he didn't like the offer that he was getting, so drafted, but unsigned is Austin Ehrlicher, who's pinch hitting for Sam Brown.
Maybe he's a Yankees fan. He was drafted by the Red Sox.
Couldn't go to Boston.
Right.
Kramer on second. It's 2 away. 7-2 Crawdads, and a big fastball there blown by the pinch hitter, Ehrlicher. Well, Brown's day is done. See if Ehrlicher stays in left or there'll be another substitution. This pitch is fouled back into the backstop. The count 0-2.
I do want to update Crawdads fans on that Lincoln and Solano game. Well, I'll set the bar at, let's say, 10.5. You want to take the over or the under?
I'll take the over.
It is 14-0 Lincoln in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Lincoln putting on a show. The 0-2 pitch, and this bounces up to DeGero. Good job of him picking that. And wow, 14-0, and just barely halfway through the game.
DeGero tried to almost frame that one. Like if it was thrown right there, it would have been a strike, but it was bounced.
Picked it up off the dirt. Not going to fool Dean Pody. His zone has been great tonight, by the way. And the 1-2 to Ehrlicher, and that's right there. Punch him out, Gabe Tanner. And get an easy chair for yourself. Ehrlicher. So Gabe Tanner gets through another inning of work. That is now 4 innings of shutout ball that Gabe Tanner has pitched. By far his best outing of the season, especially out of the bullpen. It is still 7-2 Crawdads, top of the 8th coming up. We return here from Healdsburg on the Crawdads streaming network. Top of the 8th inning, Crawdads up by 5 here in Healdsburg against the mighty Prune Packers. It is 7-2 Crawdads. Brian Duroff going to lead things off here in the top of the 8th. It's Duroff, Donnelly, and Tejero, 6, 7, and 8. Becerra's still on the mound. First pitch here to Duroff. That's called a strike. Count 0-1. Crawdads trying to add a few more against the Prune Packers, and Duroff lifts one into left field, but jogging in is the newly inserted left fielder, Ehrlicher, who makes the catch on the run for the first out. So the defensive changes, just one for the Prune Packers. Ehrlicher in the game for Brown. Brown was over at first. Runyon was in left. Ehrlicher goes to left, and then Runyon now at first. Originally, Runyon was supposed to be the first baseman today, and Brown in left, but that got flip-flopped closer to game time, so small change, and now Runyon is finally at first. Now here is Joey Donnelly, 7-2 Crawdads, and he takes the first pitch outside to count 1-0. Becerra, very tough to get anything going against. And this pitch, watch out, Joey. He just stood there and watched it, but that was farther in.
Well, Joey's looking back at the pitcher. These guys are buds. Like, I saw them hanging out after the game the other day. They're sharing a laugh right now.
Joey might be saying, really, Christian?
I know.
Proctor doesn't throw at me like that.
Poor Joey. I mean, he's facing two of the toughest pitchers in the CCL, and he has to go back and see them on campus.
2-0 pitch in this one, a close shave for Joey. And now Donnelly, I take a little exception to that because they are so familiar with each other. And Donnelly ahead 3-0.
Donnelly had a good at bat against Proctor, but Proctor ended up getting the best of him, and Becerra so far this summer has done the same.
3-0 pitch to Donnelly. This misses high again, so 4 straight misses for Becerra.
Well, until that point, but I'm sure that Christian Becerra, Nick Proctor are going to go back on campus and be a little bit bragging about what they did to Joey Donnelly over the summer.
I could see that happening. I think right now Donnelly is not just happy he drew a walk, but I think he's happy he's out of the batter's box with some of those high, hard fastballs coming at him. He's over at first now with a walk. There's just the one out. And here's Zach Tejero on the Crawdads with a runner on, trying to improve upon a 5-run lead that they hold currently here in the top of the 8th. First pitch fouled back. The count 0-1.
Tejero, of course, having himself a heck of a game. 2 for 2, pair of RBI. He's caught a nice game.
Caught a great game. One of the best defensive games we've seen from Zach this season. Donnelly, a small lead off of first. The 0-1 pitch, and that's in there. Off speed. Froze Tejero. Count 0-2. Donnelly still 0 for 2 today, but now with a couple of walks. That 2 RBI single from Tejero in the 6th was huge for the Dads. And taking off is Donnelly, and he's going to make it in safely. It's a strikeout of Tejero. However, Donnelly advances to second with 2 away here.
Joey Donnelly is really not the fastest player on this team, and admittedly so, but he's very smart with when he runs.
He's not, but we kind of sometimes joke about it, that noted speed demon Joey Donnelly, but he picks his spots, and it's a part of his game that he's been displaying a little bit more here recently for the Crawdads. Now, Tejero is rung up, and here is Cameron Calvillo.
The first time that Healdsburg has been able to set down noted offensive threat, Zach Tejero, who's I would like to give some credit to Zach. He's having a great summer, but like I said, admittedly, Zach is a great game caller. He's here for his defense, and whatever he can do with the bat, the Crawdads will take, and he has just been great with the bat this summer.
It's a big bonus, and he's been outstanding against CCL North competition, especially as this pitch misses high, and Donnelly not going to have to run as hard over to third as he's now on third base.
Noted speed demon, Joey Donnelly.
And Donnelly with another bag, but Becerra pretty wild here in the top of the 8th. Calvillo struck out in the 3rd, was out in the 4th, and then walked in the 6th. Calvillo just in his 4th game as a Crawdad. 1-0 pitch, this misses high. So that seems to be where Becerra is missing almost exclusively now. Everything up, and I mean shirt collar level, very high.
Right. It doesn't feel like Cam Calvillo's hitting just 150. His at-bats have been very good.
2-0 pitch to Calvillo. Will this one be in the zone? And taking something off is Becerra and finds the zone. Maybe that's the key there. So the fastball has gone away from Christian Becerra. Donnelly on third. 2-1 pitch to Calvillo. Calvillo takes a big rip at it, but makes minimal contact. The count 2-2. Calvillo's defense has been such a welcome addition to this Crawdads team late here in the season. They've really needed a stopper on the left side, and looks like they have one in Cameron Calvillo.
I thought the Stoppers played in Sonoma.
The Stompers.
Common mistake.
2-2 pitch, and checked on by Calvillo, and it misses outside. Good eye from Cam. The count 3 balls and 2 strikes. Stompers in action tonight, but not against CCL North competition. They're playing the Novato Knicks.
Powerhouse team.
Payoff pitch here to Calvillo, who lines this straight up the middle. And Donnelly going to trot on home. It is now 8-2 Crawdads. Calvillo with a huge knock there for his 2nd RBI of the season.
I mean, Cam Calvillo can hit. He is a very, very good player. And where Jude Putz was in the 9 spot, I thought it was a good spot for him because Putz puts the bat on the ball and he makes things happen. But Cam Calvillo is a second leadoff hitter for these Crawdads.
And that was the advantage. We were talking about it before we ever got on air today. Was nice to have Calvillo in that 9 spot, a second leadoff hitter. And I know you had a little bit of input with that, Austin. A big swing and a miss here from Ryan Ellis, who is 0 for 3 today. Walked in the 3rd, though.
Manager Cummings did text me on the bus asking for my input on the lineup, and he did not use the lineup that I submitted, but it seems to be working out all right for the Dads.
He used a few aspects of the lineup.
A couple.
Runner on first, 8-2 Crawdads, and another chase high in the zone, and it's foul tipped, and again, they're gripping the hand was Ryan Ellis, who walks away from the batter's box, and you do have to wonder if that hand's bothering him just a little bit now. He kind of clutches at that right hand.
I think it's bothering him.
Usually it takes a little while for any kind of swelling or pain to really start popping up after the initial pain of getting hit.
The good thing is he's able to stay in the ball game. He can grip the bat. He can grip the ball. And I think as long as he ices tonight and plays it safe, he should be good to go.
0-2 pitch to Ellis. Here it is. He takes a big cut, comes up empty. So Crawdads are able to score 1 thanks to Cameron Calvillo driving in Joey Donnelly over from 3rd. Calvillo with his 2nd RBI of the season in his 4th game for the Crawdads. It is 8-2 Walnut Creek here in Healdsburg. Bottom of the 8th coming up when we return after the break on the Crawdads streaming network. Bottom of the 8th inning, Crawdads leading 8-2. Gabe Tanner getting called out to the mound once again. He's going to stay out there for his 5th inning of work. And he has a very tough hitter to deal with. Leading up things off in the bottom of the 8th, it is Jared Sundstrom. It's Sundstrom, Schussler, and then Sam Hunt. Crawford was the DH originally this evening, but Sam Hunt pinch hit for him in the last appearance for the DH spot. And this pitch misses from Tanner. The count 1-0 to Sundstrom. Sundstrom walked in the 2nd, stole second base then, was hit by a pitch in the 3rd, and then reached base on an error in his last at-bat in the 6th. 1-0 pitch just misses high and in, and the count 2-0. Tanner's still out there, and Brant Cummings really showing a lot of confidence in him. You have to wonder how much of it is confidence from Brant Cummings, and also how much of it is maybe you don't want to really empty out your bullpen in a game that's 8-2. Tanner taking a little bit of a pause here. Now he's set. Winds and delivers. This misses low. The count 3-0. Now this is what has happened to Tanner over the last about inning and a half. He's really fallen behind hitters.
I would stick with the same strategy of having a pretty short leash here.
3-0 pitch, and this misses high. That's a walk issued by Tanner. Tanner, not a guy who has gone a whole bunch of innings out of the bullpen this season for the Crawdads. Seen him do a little bit of everything, start, bullpen man, and you just keep taking some glances over near the bullpen area for the Crawdads, wondering if anybody's going to get going or if it's Gabe Tanner's game here. So it's still 8-2, but a runner on first, nobody out after the walk of Sundstrom, and here's Kimball Schuessler. Schuessler has played a wonderful game defensively tonight as this ball bounces up. 5 straight misses now from Gabe Tanner.
Tanner needs to come in here on 1-0 to Schuessler. If this was the 1-0 count alone, it wouldn't be much, but you don't want to throw 6 straight balls to start an inning, and really you can't give the Packers anything here.
Schuessler 0 for tonight is Kimball Schuessler, and a pitch over to first, pickoff move, and nothing doing. Maybe just trying to settle down a little bit is Gabe Tanner. 1-0 to Schuessler out of the stretches, Gabe, and this is hit weakly over near the dugout of the Prune Packers. The count 1-1.
And it's unbelievable because it's a 6-run game, and it still feels like every pitch is so immensely important.
It is huge because we've seen this Prune Packer team never quit, never give up, and they will come back on you if you're not careful. Even with a 6-run lead, every pitch, like you said, Austin, a lot of import as another foul ball, and the count 1-2. Elsewhere around the CCL, the Arroyo Seco Saints up 9-5 now against the Conejo Oaks in the top of the 8th in Pasadena. The Novato Knicks playing the Stompers at Arnold Field in Sonoma. Sonoma's up 5-3. That's in the bottom of the 7th. And Lincoln winning 14-1 in the top of the 8th against Solano. This pitch misses outside, and the count even 2-2.
It is actually 14-3. Kenny DeSalle just hit a 2-run single.
So things have been updated. 14-3. 8-2 here. Solano trying to mount a comeback. 2-2 pitch. Sundstrom goes. This ball's hit deep to right field. Moving back is Donnelly, and he gets it. Are they going to double up Sundstrom at second? They will. The throw back into Duroff, and that is 2 outs on 1 pitch.
That is unbelievable momentum shift for the Crawdads. A ball that looked like it could be out of the ballpark, instead out in Joey Donnelly's glove, and he just easily tosses to first. He had all the time in the world. Duroff came off the bag to get it, and he still had ample time to get Sundstrom. I'm not sure why Healdsburg is running down 6.
F9, then 9-3. 2 outs there. And here's Sam Hunt. First pitch to Hunt. He gets into one, hits it into center field, but right at Coleman Schmidt, who drifts to his left and makes the catch. And just like that, Gabe Tanner, looks like it was a little rough for him to start things out in the bottom of the 8th, but he's able to get 3 quick outs. So Gabe Tanner, very good tonight for the Crawdads, gets through his 5th inning of work. And it is still 8-2 Crawdads. Top of the 9th coming up here in Healdsburg. Crawdads going to try to add a few more runs when we return on the Crawdads Streaming Network.
Ninth inning for the Crawdads. Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo, number 13, Tyson Corio.
Top of the ninth. It is 8-2 Crawdads. Here is Tyson Corio going to lead it off for the Dads after just some defensive craziness for the Crawdads in the last half inning. Wild double play. Ball hit out to right. Tracked down by Joey Donnelly, and then they double up Sundstrom at first. So it is Corio, Brome, and Schmidt. First pitch to Corio misses high and outside. The count 1-0. Corio, great night so far. Home run in the fifth, had a triple in the seventh. He's come around to score twice. Also reached in the first on an error. Was retired in the third. So he's 2 for 4. This pitch misses. Count 2-0. Gabe Tanner starting to lose the control a little bit last half inning before the break, but found a way to get through it. 2-0 pitch from Becerra to Corio, who's batting lefty against the righty Becerra. That's a strike to count 2-1. Tyson Corio, a much different hitter when he's left-handed. Not that he's a bad right-handed hitter, but the power is really there when he bats lefty. Pitch misses away. The count 3-1. And that can often be the case with a lot of switch hitters. Usually they elevate the ball a lot better when they do bat lefty. Pitch here, this misses high. Corio has a walk. Another good start to an inning for the Crawdads, able to get a base runner on.
The difference between today and the last time these two played here is that the Crawdads have gotten runners on and scored them. And, I mean, that's why they're up.
That's as simple as that. There's really no other way to break it down. They've gotten men on base, and they have capitalized. So here is Ryan Brome. And Becerra pumping the leg a little bit. Now he'll fire. And Brome, big cut and a miss. The count 0-1. Brome struck out in the first, walked, and came around to score in the fourth. Struck out swinging in the fifth. Did have an RBI in the seventh, even though he was put out. But it was just enough contact to score Corio, who was over at third after that triple he had. 0-1 pitch, and this misses low. The count 1-1. No outs here. Corio got on with a walk. Crawdads lead by 6. It's 8-2. Pitching staff between Valerio and Gabe Tanner has done a great job keeping Healdsburg to only 2 runs. 1-1 pitch to Brome, and he hits this to the opposite field. A little blooper out in shallow left. Is that going to be caught? It is, by Loudon Brooks, who ranges all the way onto the outfield grass to make the play. And they thought about maybe doubling up Tyson Corio, but he wasn't caught way off of first, such as Jared Sundstrom was in the bottom of the 8th.
But that's just a phenomenal play by Loudon Brooks at shortstop, who continues to impress. It's hard to say how good he has been today. That's a Brandon Crawford play, just going out and making it basket style behind you, not looking at it. By the way, new second baseman in the game, one of the other Brown brother, Sam.
There's Sam and Joe. Pitch here to Schmidt. Fouled high and away. So 1 out. 8-2 Crawdads. Corio still on first. I'm sure Schmidt would love to drive him in. Schmidt had a monster day yesterday. Was just a triple shy of the cycle.
And if the Crawdads hadn't walked it off in his last at bat, he would have been on third.
He would have been on third.
I feel bad for him.
Taking a long time. Here's Becerra, the 0-1, and Schmidt fouls this away as well. The count 0-2, and spoke to Schmitty before the ball game today, and we were kind of joking about that. And I said, you know, if that didn't end the game, you would have been on third. It would have been your second cycle in a summer.
He said to me when I told him that yesterday, he said, I just wanted to go home. Can't blame him.
He wanted to win. He wanted to win and go home. Walk that sucker off, and he did. The 0-2 to Schmidt, and Schmidt swings and misses. And that's a strikeout. Coleman Schmidt, his second strikeout today. He's now struck out 42 times this season. Not Schmidt's day today at the plate, but he's been good in center.
And he's allowed to have an off day.
He is. You can't always expect your big bangers to always come through for you, and Schmidt has just been so good for this Crawdads team all summer. Occasionally you will have a day where you're 0 for 5 now is Coleman Schmidt. Here's Kavares Tears. Quality of at-bats for Tears, as there's 2 away, has just been great today as he takes high and in. The count 1-0.
I will say the difference is when Coleman Schmidt was struggling in that stretch that the Crawdads are mired in, it was Schmidt struggling and no one else coming through. And now it's Schmidt's the guy that hasn't got on base, and everyone else is producing.
Everybody else is starting to carry their weight a little bit more. The 1-0 pitch to Kavares just misses high, and Tears takes the count 2-0. What's left of the Healdsburg contingency here, still rooting on their Prune Packers, although stands have emptied out quite a bit. The top of the 9th as it's 8-2 Crawdads. 2-0 pitch to Tears, and he swings. Tries going to the opposite field with it, but it lands somewhere over near the concession stands. Past the left field line. Count 2-1. Tears struck out in the 2nd, walked and scored in the 4th. Had a hit and a stolen base in the 6th. Also came around to score. Broke his bat in the last plate appearance. Was put out 4-3. 2-1 pitch, and this is fouled back into the netting. Count 2-2. It's always tough for these players when they break a bat during summer ball. They usually come in with some pretty expensive pieces, and then you got to swing a new bat. The last one, Kavares hit it on the ground over to second, where Brown is now playing instead of Vuletic, and having to dodge some splinters out there, and the head of the bat was Becerra. This pitch is hit high into left center, and coming in to get it is Holcroft from center field, sprinting to make the catch for out number 3. So the Crawdads do get Corio on. He walks, but not able to move him over. He's stranded at first. The Crawdads still lead, however. It is 8-2, and we'll see if there's a pitching change. Who's going to shut this game down for the Dads when we return here on the Crawdads streaming network.
Tuesday, August 2nd.
Bottom of the 9th, Crawdads with a big lead. It's a 6-run lead. It's 8-2 Walnut Creek here against the Healdsburg Prune Packers in Healdsburg. Along with Austin Oda. Gabe Tanner going to stay on the mound for his 6th inning of work. He has just been immaculate so far, has not given up any runs, and he's in line for a win if he can get through this bottom half of the 9th. It's going to be Loudon Brooks leading it off for the Prune Packers. Brooks, Holcroft, and then you would think Brown batting for Zach Vuletic, as he is now the second baseman. Loudon Brooks, who is 0 for 3 today, did reach on a fielder's choice in his last at-bat in the 6th. The first pitch from Tanner misses low. The count 1-0.
The Crawdads do, however, have someone in the bullpen. It's Dylan Devitt out there. I like this decision, even if he doesn't come in, just have him ready.
1-0 pitch, and that finds the outside black against the righty Brooks. The count 1-1. And I think you're right, Austin. It's good to just have someone up there in case. A 1-1 pitch, and this is hit hard on the ground. Takes a few hops over to Corio, who's up with it. Throws to first. Duroff has it. Out number 1.
Boston College, number 5, Liam.
Good start to the 9th.
And there's going to be a pinch hitter for Jake Holcroft. It's going to be Liam Little. Little going to pinch hit for Holcroft, who finishes his day 1 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. Did have a hit in the first, came around to score, but Liam Little, righty, going to face the righty Gabe Tanner. 8-2 Crawdads with 1 out. First pitch here to Liam Little, misses high. The count 1-0.
Little, who's just 1 for 15 this summer.
Little getting an opportunity here in a game that's not quite in blowout territory. 8-2 pitch, the 1-0 pitch. The score is 8-2. 1-0 pitch is fouled away. 8-2 pitch, that's a long at bat.
So,
boy.
In my wiffle ball league, we throw so many balls that we do 5-ball walks. And so saying 8-2 doesn't sound absurdly weird to me because we'll say 4-2 all the time. And that just feels wrong.
4-2 count. The 1-1 pitch, and this comes inside. Having to turn the shoulder was Little. Count 2-1. We'll see if there's any other pinch hitting, but it looks like Brown is indeed on deck. He is going to hit, and this is speared out of the air by Duroff. Off the inside portion of the bat. I think Little thought he had a hit. Duroff climbed the ladder, was able to get that ball, and there's quickly 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th.
Now, no funny business, Gabe. Just finish it here, please. The
Gabe
Crawdads
Tanner
looking to get a win.
Gabe Tanner about to get through his 6th inning of work. He's 1 out away. He knows that this Prune Packers team can strike back at a moment's notice. Even with 2 outs on the board, it's still 8-2, and Brown takes the first pitch. It's down in the dirt. Count 1-0. If things hold up, Tanner is in line to get the victory. Has a chance to go over 500 this season for the Crawdads in the win-loss columns. And this pitch, a high strike call. Count 1-1. So the Crawdads really did a good job tonight of limiting a potent offense from Healdsburg and then getting a lot of scoring in the middle innings. Pitch here misses high. Count 2-1. The big home run from Tyson Corio. That was massive. Duroff's 3-run shot was huge. That happened in the 4th inning. 2-1 pitch, and this is hit on the ground. Calvillo at short. Up with it, throws to first, and not able to be dug out by Duroff. The throw was low, and that's the second time we've seen that happen to Brian Duroff tonight. That'll be an error on Cameron Calvillo.
And that's actually Joey Donnelly at first, Casey Cummings in the game in right. I missed that completely.
Oh, I did too. So Donnelly over at first now. Cummings at right. Duroff out of the game. It's so tough to tell here, and they're not announcing the changes over the PA system, so we do apologize for that, folks. But great catch there, Austin. Donnelly not able to scoop that up. There's a runner at first. There's still 2 outs, and it's still 8-2 Crawdads.
But that is a little ominous. That's how the Packers scored their tying run the other day, and a 2-out error.
Joe Kramer is going to be up to bat. Kramer came into this ball game with 10 home runs and 45 driven in. Has a runner over at first to work with. Brown has his lead. And the first pitch to Kramer is a fastball that misses a little bit high and a little bit in. The count 1-0.
It's unbelievable. Even with a 6-run advantage for the Crawdads, I'm still literally on the edge of my seat.
1-0 pitch from Tanner, and that missed. Oh, called a strike, actually. Looked like that pitch was just a bit outside, but called a strike by Dean Pody. The count 1-1. 1-1 pitch, and swinging through it is Kramer. Went back to that same breaking ball in the outer half. Able to get a swing and a miss there from Kramer, who is making a bid for Offensive Player of the Year in the CCL. Count 1-2. Prune Packers down to their last strike. 2 away. Crawdads looking for the win. This pitch is hit high, foul. Out of play on the left side. Count 1-2 still. Crawdads looking to win back-to-back games tonight. They won yesterday in extra innings against the Stompers. Looking to get it done in 9 here tonight in Healdsburg. Still 1-2 to Kramer. Kramer still a threat. Tanner shakes off Tejero multiple times. And the 1-2. This pitch misses low and gets all the way to the backstop. Brown is going to advance to second. Brown not going to have too big of a lead off of second base. Ultimately, that runner does not matter. It's 8-2 Crawdads, but Gabe Tanner, who's been out there for a long time trying to get through 6 innings, get his 4th win of the year for the Crawdads, just 1 strike away. The 2-2 to Kramer. This is fouled back. Kramer staying alive. Count still 2-2. Prune Packers so tough to beat at home, similar to Lincoln in a lot of ways. These are tough places to come up and visit. Two-two pitch. This misses high and away, and Brown is going to advance to third as this pitch misses everything. And even though Devitt is over there kind of stretching and loosening up in the bullpen for the Crawdads, sure manager Brant Cummings just wants to have Gabe Tanner get this last out. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Brown at third. The pitch, and that's in there for strike number 3. Sit him down, Gabe Tanner, and that's a win for the Crawdads. Gabe Tanner pitches 6 innings of shutout ball out of the bullpen. The Crawdads win 8-2. Tanner improves his record to 4-3 on the summer, and that was his best performance by far as a Crawdad over the past 2 years. The Crawdads able to beat the Healdsburg Prune Packers, who coming into this ball game were 25-1 at home.
I have to go film my post-game interview, but that was electric.
Austin Oda going to film the post game. That's going to be up on Instagram. He's going to take the headset off, head down to the field, try to get all of you Crawdads fans some great content up on the social media platforms. The Crawdads win 8-2. It was a great team performance all the way around. Not enough credit can go to Antoine Valerio, the starter today, who made his first start of the summer for the Crawdads. He was a late addition to this team. He actually pitched against the Crawdads about a month and a half ago for the Bay Area Force, a game that the Force won in Danville. But Valerio was great, and he was able to go 3 innings, and Gabe Tanner took over the last 6, and almost like a reverse start. Instead of starting the game, comes out of the bullpen, pitches 6 innings of shutout ball, just completely shut down this Healdsburg lineup, which is just so powerful, so stout, so strong. And the Crawdads able to get out of here with an 8-2 victory on the road and keep their playoff chances alive. The Crawdads improved to 22-20 overall on the season, now an even 500, 15-15 in CCL North play. The Healdsburg Prune Packers fall to 22-9. That's a big number still. They've won 22 games, but they are 22-9 in CCL North play. They're now 33-9 overall. So the Crawdads able to steal one up here in Healdsburg. They'll have another game tomorrow, but every game so important. Beating a team that was 25-1 at home is just a huge feather in the cap of the Crawdads, who are trying to make a playoff push. Game started at 6:07, ended at 9:19. A bit of a long game tonight up in Healdsburg. The temperature definitely cooled down, but final time of game, 3 hours and 12 minutes. So a good game all the way around. Some very good performances out of Tyson Corio, who had a big blast in the fifth, his 4th home run of the summer, as well as Brian DeRoff, able to collect his 3rd home run this season for the Crawdads, a monster 3-run homer in the 4th that landed on someone's roof here in Healdsburg past the left field fence. So Crawdads got great power tonight out of the bats. They were able to get a lot of runners on. And the final line score, Crawdads with 8 runs, 7 hits, 4 errors. They are victorious. The Healdsburg Prune Packers, 2 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. So the Crawdads had quite a few defensive mistakes tonight, but able to get through them. Caden Noah, tonight's starter for the Prune Packers. He got his 2nd loss of the summer. He was able to go 3 2/3 innings, gave up 2 hits, 3 runs, all earned. That's thanks to Brian DeRoff. Walked 4, struck out 6, faced 17. So Noah falls to 3-2. Tanner now 4-3 on the season, and the Crawdads win. Elsewhere around the CCL, want to update you on all the scores that are happening right now. Looks like Lincoln going to be victorious in Lincoln, of course, against the Solano Mudcats. That game is in the top of the 7th. It is 14-4 Lincoln. Potters up by 10. So the Crawdads not getting any help there from Solano, as the Crawdads are trying to get back into 2nd place and get to San Luis Obispo for the playoffs in August. The Arroyo Seco Saints ended up beating the Conejo Oaks 9-5 in Pasadena at Jackie Robinson Memorial Field in the shadows of the Rose Bowl. The Sonoma Stompers are tied 5-5 with the Novato Knicks in the top of the 9th, so the Knicks up to bat right now in Arnold Field in Sonoma, California. And that game, not a CCL game, but Sonoma, who has not had a whole bunch of winning happen this summer for them in their first season in the CCL. I'm sure that they would love to go home happy with a win. So the Crawdads once again win 8-2. And they will be in action tomorrow at Monte Vista High School in Danville, California. That is tomorrow, Friday, July 29th at 4 p.m. against the Solano Mudcats. Then against the Potters at McBean Park, McBean Stadium, up in Lincoln. That game on Saturday at 6:05 p.m. And then against the Stompers at 12 p.m. once again in Danville, California on Sunday, July 31st. That is the home finale. And there is a possibility of another game being made up between these very same Healdsburg Prune Packers and your Walnut Creek Crawdads. So once again, the Crawdads win 8-2. Gabe Tanner just incredible out of the bullpen, pitching 6 shutout innings, and the Crawdads offense able to give them a lot of power tonight to really jumpstart this team and get them a victory, a much-needed victory to keep the playoff push and the chase for San Luis Obispo alive. So for Austin Oda, I'm Alon to say the Crawdads win 8-2. Thank you for inviting us into your home, everybody, and we will see you tomorrow from Monte Vista at 4 p.m. here on the Crawdads Streaming Network.